in the fucking 24 or 2015.
Yeah, LeBron was pacing himself.
Them years niggas in Cleveland.
LeBron was pacing himself.
Him and K-Love was resting before Christmas break. Before Christmas Day, them niggas was literally resting.
LeBron paced himself to 39,000 career points. LeBron paced himself to 39,000 career points.
Name.
That's a stupid ass argument, Tank.
You do.
Just stupid ass argument.
That nigga is. Why he only got one season?
Stupid argument.
Why he only got averaging one season after 30 points and never
stupid argument.
I feel like this nigga wasn't pacing himself. Mike averaged 37. He averaged 35 over 8 seasons.
Coming at you live from the 405. It's the 5 on the 4 podcast, featuring 5 unironically unique voices in the podcast game of music, sports, and the culture.
All right, y'all. Welcome to the 5 from the 4. How y'all doing today?
Excellent thing.
Wonderful. We're going to go ahead and go through our introductions. We're going to start to the left with our light blue Shea Gildas-Alexander jersey.
You see it. Take love. Back again. I give it back. It is I. Greetings and salutations. I am in the city edition Shea Thunder jersey because Thunder up.
It's your boy, the moderator today, the host, All Home.
What up, y'all? It's Aurelius. Here in my Women Come First hoodie by Valentina Voigt. Shout out to her. This is one of a kind. She no longer makes these. She's strictly on lingerie, so sorry, everyone. You can't get one of these. Thank you.
It's me, Tevin McD, with just a little culture shirt on. But I'm here representing 50% of our brown sexuality in this group. So it's a wonderful day today. And I'm ready to sit on that business.
As you see, our teams are ready. They've been researching. They've been watching. This is their livelihood at stake here, y'all. We've been talking about the GOAT debate since 25 years, 26, 35 years of existence. All of us, or Taylor, 40 years of existence. Sorry about that.
He looked at me. He looked at me when he said 35, and I felt the way, but then he said 40.
Which makes sense.
You get it worse.
You know what I'm saying?
So, as y'all know, we ready to go today, man. We've got our bronze sexuals over here.
Yeah, buddy.
We've got our Jordanites over here.
Bald head Menace Mafia.
And again, your boy All Home is moderating today. Let's see who is the greatest of all time. Stay with us.
What's good, y'all? So, as our host All Home said, this will be the GOAT debate of the century. You do not want to miss it. We got the bronze sexuals over here, me and Tev. And we've got the Jordanites, the old heads who not living in the present moment or in the future over here. So, we didn't just want to have a back and forth, a yelling match. We wanted to do things differently as we've been doing on this pod. So, we created a rubric, which we will put in the description below so you all can see it. But I'm going to explain it to you all. This is the GOAT of basketball rubric. So there are 10 different categories that we are ranking both of these players. The purpose of this was to try to have some level of objectivity to evade subjective debate. Basically, who you like more, right, is what this debate turns into. But we was trying to have some actual stats put into it, some actual metrics put into it. So we have these 10 categories. Each of them are ranked on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. So they're broken down. 5, if you're at a 5 level, you're a superstar. If you're at an all-star level, you're a 4. If you're a tweener star in between, you're a 3. If you're a role player, 2 points. And mid is 1 point, right? We know we're going to be dealing with mostly 5s and 4s, but we may have some 3s today. We will see. But we are dealing with arguably the 2 best players in the entire world. So also want to start there, at least from my standpoint, right? Because I'm going to argue against Michael Jordan tonight, but I want to be very, very clear, right? That I have the utmost respect for Michael Jordan, and I believe that it is an honor and a privilege for him to be regarded as the second best player of all time. Because there have been millions and millions and millions of millions and millions and millions, if not billions of people who have played basketball and wanted to be at the height of it. So to be number 2 out of those billions is otherworldly, right? But there can only be one.
Oh no.
So, the 10 categories. First, you have stats. These are career averages and or total rankings in all of the statistic categories. So, points per game, assists per game, rebounds per game, stats per game, steals per game, blocks per game, all that good stuff. The second category is awards and accolades. Self-explanatory. The third one is rings, the holy grail of rings. The fourth, impact on the game. Now, this is a more subjective category, right? But we will try to actually bring in some actual pieces to this. Impact on the game. This is on the court impact. Then we have impact off the court, right? So what was the impact that you had off the court, in the culture, in the community, across the world? Number 6 is longevity. Longevity. How long you played, how many years you were in your prime, how many years you were dominant. Next is legacy. What is your legacy? This is another subjective category, but with both of these players, there's a very clear, undeniable legacy that they have had on the game. In LeBron's case, that he's still having on the game. And in Jordan's case, that he's still having on the game, right? Like, people still rocking Jordans, people still talking about Jordan. So you still have that legacy. 8 is the clutch gene. Clutch gene. Us Bronsexuals heard about how terrible LeBron's clutch gene was for so long. But do the numbers back it up? Find out later. Number 9 is pressure and living up to expectations. How much pressure was on each of these players coming into the league, while they were in the league, throughout their career? And then lastly is competition. What was the level of competition in the league while they were playing? What was the skill level? Because were you the best in your time? Undeniably, right? Who were you doing against is the big question. So those are the 10 rankings. I'm going to pass it over to my fellow Bronsexual to go over the first 3 categories.
Hello, folks, all people who are here to watch what I believe will be a very easy and clear-cut debate on why LeBron James is the greatest. And we're going to go ahead and start with, like my brother said, statistics, awards, and accolades and rings. Stats. I gave him a 5. We gave him a 5. He is an all-time great. So that is already starting off hot. He averages 27 points per game. He is now in his 21st year. He averages 7 assists per game, 7 rebounds per game. He is now the lone scorer ever. We don't have to get into too much detail, but it'd be pretty hard to catch him. I don't think anybody will. With 39,000 points and still going. And he is top 5 in career assists. Just want to throw that out there too. Awards and accolades. He is first of all, gave him a 5 there too because he has a lot of awards and accolades. He is a 4-time MVP. He's a Rookie of the Year. He's a 5-time All-Defensive First-Team player. He's a 4 times Final MVP. He's a 13 All-NBA First-Team player.
Wow.
And he's a 3-time All-Star MVP.
Quite the list.
It's a long list, and again, that list is just going to continue to grow the longer that he's in the league. And on to his rings. He's been in 10 total finals. His record is 4-6, and he has 4 Finals MVPs. So 4 rings, 4 Finals MVPs. So every time he's in one, he wins. And you know, I'm sure that our brothers over here have something to say about that part, but we'll just go ahead and just end it with those 3 to start, and we'll give it to the losers. I mean, to y'all. And
to be clear, so those are the first 3. LeBron is 14 out of 15.
We gave LeBron a 4 on his rings.
14 out of 15 currently. Thank you.
I keep hearing your music in the background. I think it's something else.
I know.
But okay, for the category of stats, I am here representing the Bald Head Menace Mafia. For Mr. Michael, not B. We'll call him Michael G. Jordan. It's really Jeffrey, but Michael G. Jordan today because it's Mr. Go. For stats, we'll give him. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 5 for this one because we could list down the stats, the 30 points per game, the 10 scoring titles. We could list the 5.5 assists per game. But I'm going to look at something that's going to do all that looking around for me and put it together in cumulative stats. Box plus minus, which is a cumulative of all your catch-all stats. Let's take a look at career leaders for record. Offensive box plus minus. Number 1. It's Michael Jordan. Man. For the career playoff leaders for just cumulative box plus minus, which will also take your defense into account, which is your steals, blocks per game, your defensive plus minus. Oh man. It's again Michael Jordan. So if you're looking at stats, that sounds like if I'm number 1 in all my cumulative stats on offense, and if I'm number 1 for just all of my stats for offense and defense, that sounds like a 5 out of 5 stats for me. Let me know in the comments if you disagree. Awards and accolades. Michael Jordan is a 5-time MVP. He does have one share with Karl Malone oh my gosh.
Oh wow.
Number 32 from Utah.
Never had a share with him.
I cannot believe I just spoke his name. Number 32 from Utah. If you know, you know, and you need to know. That man's a menace. We don't support him. Let me not digress. He has 5 MVPs. He has 9, which is a record. And let this be known, no person has more all defensive first team selections than Michael Jordan. People might be tied. Kobe Bryant, shout out Kobe, rest in peace to Mama. But no one has more. That was Kobe saying thank you. We love you. But no one has more all defensive first team selections than Michael Jordan. All NBAs, finals MVPs, regular season MVPs, All-Star game MVPs. When you put the award slash accolade stat, and you give me a 1 to 5, you're asking me? Shout out Kobe again, man. Shout out Kobe, bro. Another 5. I don't know how it just keeps popping up. This is how people feel with Taylor Swift. Oh God, when they see 13 all the time, ew. And then, last but not least, of course, we have rings. This man doesn't have the most finals appearances.
Okay.
He doesn't have, even as many as LeBron, who has 10. This man does have 6 finals appearances. A good number not to sneeze at, not to laugh at. And he is 6-0. So just like they said, when LeBron goes and he wins, he brings home that finals MVP trophy, Michael can say the same 2 times more. That's all. No, that's all. He's got a 100% winning percentage. 6 finals MVPs. 2 separate three-peats. That sounds like a 6 out of 5, but we can't do that, so 5 out of 5 to me. For a total of 15. According to Michael Jordan.
15 in the first category for you, huh?
Yep.
See where we're going here, guys. Not a very critical analysis. These folks. It's going to be all 5 across the board.
We're here for rebuttals.
But Tech, did you have anything, or can we?
Can
we discuss?
If we need to. What, do you feel like we need to elaborate a little bit?
No. We were just wondering if
you have anything to add.
Yeah.
Okay, to add. Okay.
You can to touch on the MVPs and all NBAs. Just touch. You know how to say reach out and touch your neighbor. Just touch on it. Reach out and touch on it.
Just to put some
shout out to God.
Some punctuation to his airness. They call him the king. This is his airness. It came from somewhere. Michael Jordan, like Taylor said, he's a 10-time scoring champ. He's a 3-time steals champ. So back to what he's saying, the plus and minus, it's just going hand in hand. 6-time NBA champion, 6 times Finals MVP. He's a 5-time league MVP. He also is a Rookie of the Year. He has 3 All-Star MVPs, and it's the 9th time. It's just his awards and accolades. They match even his play on the court, where he's giving me 30, and he's giving people assists. He's spreading well, scoring efficiently. At the same time, getting me steals and blocks, effective in the defense, guarding the best player on the other team. So I think that's
This number right here is 50 because that's his field goal percentage. It's 50% because he's just a walking. The next one going in. That's all. That's us backing up the 15 out of 15. But we are open to rebuttals if there are questions, comments, concerns.
So in my rubric of Michael Jordan in those first three categories,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I also have him at a 15.
Yes, sir.
So no issues necessarily with the overall ranking of those first three objective categories. Question I had though, Taylor, in the stats category, you talked about like some overall stats that took into account plus minus. Can you just explain that to the people?
So offensive.
What about those stats?
Sort of
Encompass.
Okay. Ooh, that was a good crack.
Box plus minus just incorporates your catch-all stats, which are points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game, steals per game, blocks per game, field goal percentage, free throw percentage. It's just it's honestly just taking the mean, like the mean in math terms. The mean is just adding it all up, coming out with an average. So it's essentially doing that in a numeric form that, shout out to Russell Westbrook, they had to redo because Russell's first triple-double season won MVP, it shattered anything Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe, Kareem, anyone ever did. So they had to redo this in the 2018 season just so they could put Russ down and have everything looking kind of normal because Russ broke it. So this is actually a very updated model, and they update it every 2 years because of Russ literally kept averaging a triple-double. So they were like, oh. So shout out to Russ. But they update it every 2 years now because of that, because Russ averaged a triple-double 3 years in a 4-year stretch. So even after you keep adding in seasons from Nikola Jokic, who's now second in play box plus minus, which is crazy. You add in Giannis, who's seventh. You add in Kawhi Leonard, who I think was ninth. With all these new guys coming in, with LeBron just keep piling on numbers to his already top 3 spot. It was like, it fluctuates by the year with Jokic. But now LeBron is honestly at third. But box plus minus is just everything. Here's a rating of how good you are at everything. I kind of went on a little ramble, but it's just how good you are at everything in a basic number form, scale of 1 to 50.
Thank you for that. So
Sorry for that.
no, you're great. My main sort of point on these first three categories is specifically around the rings because Jordan stands, Jordan Knights, right? What'd you call it? Bald-headed
Menace Mafia.
Mafia. Sure.
Made that up on the spot.
Yeah.
Made it up on the spot.
I rock with it. Like to focus on the rings, right? And as we are talking about all of these stats, all of these awards, all of these rings, right? We're talking about the individual LeBron James, the individual Michael Jordan. What we're failing to bring up, right, is that basketball is indeed a team sport. You don't win by yourself, right? Every MVP speech is thanking the teammates. Couldn't do it without you guys. When you win the finals and you win the finals MVP, I couldn't do it without the guys. I couldn't do it without the coaching staff. I couldn't do it without the trainers, right? It is a collective, a team sport. So I also want to bring that into account, that the team matters in the wins and in the losses, right? So for LeBron's record, 4 rings, nothing to sniff at, right? 4 NBA final rings, right? All of which come against all-time great players. All of which come against all-time great players.
All-stars.
Right?
Hall of Famers.
The 6 that he has lost, except 1, come against dynasties. When you talk about the best teams in the history of basketball, that's who LeBron was losing to. The Warriors dynasty, the Spurs dynasty on 2 different occasions, right? But then you have the one battle. And as LeBron sexuals, I think we would like to admit to LeBron had a bad loss, a really bad loss, in the biggest stage in the world against the Dallas Mavericks, who were at the time the underdog. The only time he lost when he was favored to win, right? All the other times was against teams that were stacked, stupid. It was either an even matchup or with the early ones, right? He was going against the Spurs, and then later on it was against arguably the greatest team of all time, right? And the Warriors, and then they added KD and just became Thor. Not Thor. KD. What's the ring guy?
Thanos.
They became Thanos, right? So it just got ridiculous, right? So just want to bring that up to contextualize the ring category specifically because it's super, super important because people just like to drop it 6 versus 4. But all of that context matters when you're talking about basketball.
And I want to also add on to that too, because that is the main reason that we gave it a 4, right? Because of that one little asterisk. However, like there's almost something to going to that many, and granted, he's now been in the league longer, but going to 10 9 in a row.
9 in a row, yep.
Yeah.
I want to know, how many Hall of Famers did Michael Jordan play in his finals?
I mean, he played several at the time. You could
So,
say.
No. How many Hall of Famers? Like how many are actually Hall of Famers?
Okay, we can start in 1991.
Like,
That's Clyde Drexler. We can start in 91 is Magic Johnson, James Worthy, Vlade Divac. 1992, that's Clyde Drexler. No one knows Hall of Fame on that team. 93 is Charles Barkley. Dan Marjorie might make the, like, that's a stretch. He's not in it, but he might.
Bonafide Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Charles Barkley,
Yeah,
it stops there. Then you go 96, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp.
Are they Hall of Famers?
Gary Payton is. Sean Kemp, I don't think Sean Kemp is. Gary Payton's Hall of Famer. 97, 98, same team. John Stockton at number 32 from Utah.
So I'm wondering, would you say either that during those games where he played these Hall of Famers that any of them were in their primes when he played them, or were there, which ones?
John Stockton,
All of them.
All of them except for Magic Johnson.
All of them. Magic was still in his prime. It was I would say it was the last year of his prime, but Magic was still in his prime. Magic just won MVP the year before.
But Magic is seen as an 80s player, no?
Yeah, but this is still 91.
Yeah.
This is 91. This is very early.
This is the year. These are the years after. That was the what's that? A year.
This is the second year after Kareem.
Yeah.
The first year after Kareem in 1990, he won MVP. So he won the first MVP of the decade. So it sounds like he's an 80s and 90s player, but that's another discussion because I don't know why. I don't know where that came from.
I don't think that's how that works.
He started the decade winning the
playing
MVP.
it. That's your prime.
He's started. I would say you're still in your prime if you win MVP
The year before.
Not
and then you're in the NBA Finals the next year. So it doesn't sound like you fell off. Because he was definitely the team's best player. It wasn't James Worthy. It wasn't a rookie Vlade Divac. It wasn't Byron Scott. It was Magic Johnson was still the team's best player. And he took them to the NBA Finals.
But that doesn't
so I would.
So for the next portion of this this great debate, long-lasting debate, is the impact on and off the floor, on and off the court, for both Mr. LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
Ball-headed Menace Mafia.
Ball-headed Menace Mafia.
Brownsexuals.
Ball is in our court. I'll take the fade away.
I'm gonna pass it to you in the post in the little block here. I'm clearing out.
Make sure you push off on it.
You see it though? That's where it all started, you know. You got the greats of the 70s, 60s, 70s, and the 80s. Basketball kind of just was hitting peaks with your Bill Russells, Bob Cousy's, Wilt Chamberlains, Jerry West, to your Larry Birds, Magic Johnsons, Dr. J's. During that time, the league was split, so talent was all over the place.
Shout out to AB.
Basketball was not being viewed as much. So I look at these points in time, they're very great players, but they're blips. By the end of the 90s, people said that is the greatest basketball player of all time. That is the definition of playing basketball. And at that moment, we found it because of this on-court play, this assassin, the way he mentally just overtook people's minds of just like, man, I really can't do anything about this. One of the quickest first steps in the history of the game. To this day, even in the day and age of weight training and sports medicine, before all that time, it was just, just raw athleticism. That was developed and it just came out of nowhere. But Just the way and the style. He came in. He entered with the long shorts, and he did the fadeaway, the switching of the hands, and the dunking on people, and all of that. It's just it really gave basketball a style that it never had before.
You wild, bro.
Just OD, bro. He's going crazy.
You fucking
But
wild.
Taylor, would you have anything to add on to his on court impact?
Here, I'm gonna take my little bit of onion powder. Shout out ramen noodles and making masterpieces. I'm just gonna put a little spice on top because he was cooking. Tastes good. I'm just gonna put a little spice on top. It's just to me, I feel like if you have players, Michael Jordan retired in 2003. It is 2024, so that is literally what's the word I'm looking for? The entirety of LeBron James' career. That's 21 years. And 21 years later, people are still saying, "Oh man, that's the next Jordan." That sounds like the highest on-court impact to me. At least there's not much higher level of compliment you can give if the people who play the game, the people that analyze the game, that used to play the game, and the people that just love the game, all three, fans of LeBron or not, because I'm not saying I'm looking for the next LeBron, but there's like the way people talk about Anthony Edwards and the way people talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The next Michael Jordan, from how their play styles, and with his aura and his presence, he just feels like I'm going to win this game the way Michael would. Shai's ability to take 1 3 a game, 2 if he's feeling spicy with he step back because that thing is filthy, but and still giving you 30, really giving you 33. Last guy gave you 33 on 52 plus, shooting less than 1 3 a game, or at 1.03 the game. The ball headed minutes. So I'm not saying Shai's going to be the next Michael Jordan, but Shai's skill set has people saying you're Jordan-esque. And people aren't going to say you're Jordan-esque if you didn't have the highest level of on-court impact. That was a lot of spice.
It was a lot of spice, but it leads perfectly to where the origin of the on-court success, the way it was viewed, was because at the time, in a very divided country in the early stages of the NBA, Michael Jordan was that figure, was that face that was like, no, we in these rooms, and I'm going to do it the right way, and no matter how you're going to do it, we're going to do it my way, because I'm the face of this. I'm doing this. So much so, Nike gave him his own branch. Soon turned into his own brand. Bitch. And then now we're looking at an NBA where guys can get a chance to really showcase themselves off the floor and
world-class slurper.
What it might be fashion.
That's
I was trying to stay off campus.
World-class slurper.
Wow.
Shout out the big slurps, you know.
All right. Thank you.
That sounds like a beautiful
That
transition
detour.
to off-court impact when we return.
Stupid.
Because that thing did not hit that carpet, bro.
What are you talking about?
None of that beer hit the carpet, bro.
None of it.
You got it all.
Yeah, he did.
I was slapping that bitch.
Go ahead, Tank.
Shit, that's
Finish up, Tank.
Oh.
Come on.
And we're back.
Are we still over?
Yeah, we never left.
Okay,
Oh,
fantastic.
fantastic.
Nice. But
I stay ready.
back to what I was saying. Michael Jordan, he really created this identity for players off the floor with his shoe brand, his own brand, and his partnerships that came about that many guys weren't getting looked at then if you weren't the white counterparts in the NBA. And during that time, he really created a standard so much so that it's like everybody still follows it. It's the blueprint for literally everybody. The Dwayne Wade's, as he got Ling Ling in China. You got Kobe Bryant with Nike. LeBron James now, his whole kingdom of Nike. You look at the lower end deals, but not even lower end. They're all big major deals. Russell Westbrook's deal with Jordan has created his own little faction of Jordan. You got the Derrick Rose with Adidas, and just guys just feeling. Steph, Kevin Durant, like everybody has a signature shoe, and that blueprint was laid, and that's part of the reason why he was the GOAT.
I'm gonna put a little more sprinkling.
Yeah,
just a little more sprinkling.
I really should have worn J's tonight.
That'd be crazy.
I would have set it off.
The Jordan brand, just the Jordan brand itself, represents 10% of Nike's total income worldwide. His just shoes. Nike has full sweats. Nike has sweat sets. That means we're talking hoodies with the sweats and they look the same so you can be cute. Nike has everybody's seen all kinds, like Nike has so much apparel, man. Everybody's seen it. Everybody knows Nike just has anything you could put a check on, Nike has put a check on it. And to say that your shoes have 10% of their total income, that's off the court impact. Now, Michael is obviously not the only successful off the court player, but it's got to start somewhere. It starts at the GOAT.
Like Drewski said, that's all we saying.
Back to us. Thank you for those moments. So I'll kick us off here, and I just want to say a couple of points here, because as you are debating the GOAT, it's always important. One of my favorite activists calls himself a context creator. In the world of content creators, he's a context creator. Now that's in the social justice space. But you could take that here, right? I am, for this debate, a context creator, right? Because the context of the moment, of the era, of the season that the player is in, that the person is in, matters hugely to the overall argument. So impact on the game. LeBron James. It can't be overstated how big the impact has been. How big LeBron James' impact has been. Just as Jordan revolutionized the game at that time, early on in the NBA's trajectory, Magic and Bird rivalry was waning down, and then here comes this global megastar, Michael Jordan. Just as he revolutionized it, LeBron has taken it to a whole new world, right? The NBA is at the biggest place it's ever been in its entire existence today, and that is largely because of LeBron James's on-the-court impact. Just as Jordan was a freak, jumping from the free throw line, a little below the free throw line, you know what I'm saying? With the tongue out, doing all that crazy stuff. Imagine. 6'8", 250, 270, 280, running fast at you, downhill, coming up, tomahawk. At 18 years old, bruh. 18. What was you doing at 18? What was we doing at 18? We wasn't in the highest league in the entire world. We were not. None of us. Okay? At 18, he was doing that in Sacramento. Okay? Right into the league. So the impact on the court, we're talking about bigger, we're talking about stronger, we're talking about faster, we're talking about more athletic. The freakiest nigga you'd have never seen on a basketball court. Wemby might have something to say about that 5 years from now. Again, the game continues to evolve. There was Magic, there was Bird before them. After that, there was Jordan. Then you had Kobe. Then bigger, stronger, faster, and better came along. The eye test is really where a lot of this happens for me. The eye test of LeBron James on a basketball court is just so different. It's so different. You ain't supposed to be that big, that strong, that fast, that athletic, and that skilled in basketball. And yet, all of those, you talk about ingredients was mixed in a bowl, and God said, Give me LeBron. The chosen one.
The chosen.
Okay, so the impact on the game has been massive. They talked about all these players who get compared to Jordan. Same with Zion. He hasn't lived up to it because there is no living up to LeBron James. There is no living up to LeBron James, right? But Zion Williamson was compared as the next LeBron. Big guy, fast, freaky, athletic. Hasn't panned out. Same with Giannis, right? Because it's very hard to do, and this is the later category around the longevity, but it's very hard to play the game of basketball, which is incredibly physically taxing, and stay healthy, as LeBron James has. Something that Zion hasn't, who many thought was going to be the next LeBron, if not better. So, the impact on the court has been otherworldly. Tevin, anything to add?
I'm gonna be like Taylor, but I'm gonna just add a little dash.
Right.
The nigga jumped over a grown man in game. You know what I'm saying? I just want a grown man in game. I just want just a little bit of splash.
What's that grown man's name, Tevin?
Couldn't tell you. Play for the Bulls.
John Lucas.
Yep.
5'10" John Lucas?
Yeah.
I don't know. A grown man in
Can
game.
you jump over somebody who's 5'10"? Producer? Can anybody hear?
I'm slightly athletic.
Somebody jump over
How
somebody
about
who's
4'10"?
Thank you.
4'10". What do we think, ladies?
Dunking.
No!
Dunking.
You can't!
We
Niggas can't even dunk on this.
I know 10-foot goal, but like
You give me 8 foot goal and a 3 foot tall person.
3 foot.
Give me
Let's
3
go
foot
to
10. Give me 3 foot 10. We can make
That
we can
big
be-
ass man jumped over a damn near 6 foot person in game.
The only
Come on, bro.
other nigga who has a better dunk feet like that is Vince Carter. Jumping over a 7-footer.
Or, Dwight Howard, too.
No.
But 7-footer.
And we're talking about
clear
in game.
We're talking about
Not
in
dunk contest.
games.
And one.
These aren't just like, let me set up for this dunk.
Right.
These are teams are playing to win, and this nigga say, you know what? I think I can clear you.
He jumped over it. You know, like
I'm gonna jump it so big. Like,
niggas do that in dunk contests. Like even the best athletes who are just dunkers, they don't even hoop, be doing that in dunk
put
contests,
niggas
jumping
on-
over people.
Yeah.
He did that in an actual competitive game where the other guys were actually trying to defend him. It's different.
It's different.
That's great spice
Yeah.
on top. Great spice.
And you can go to off the court.
Yeah, so now the next category is impact off the court. Fellas talked a lot about the shoes, talked a lot about the Jordan brand. That's all well and fine. I got a lot of J's. I love the J's silhouettes, Shout out to the whole Nike team. Shout out to the whole Jordan team. Shout out MJ for the entire empire that he built. Right? Taylor was talking about sweatsuits and hoodies and shoes and all this stuff. Ask the Ohio State Buckeyes who they're rocking. LeBron got an entire massive Power 5 college teams rocking his logo. So you want to talk about the impact and all the people wearing it. LeBron got it right there too. He got all of these signature shoes since he first stepped in the league. 21. He on number 21 now. 21. You know what I'm saying? 21. Right? So LeBron got all that. But I don't even want to talk about that. Because the impact off the court isn't supposed to be basketball related. The impact off the court that LeBron James has been in his community. From the beginning, LeBron James has said, I'm just a kid from Akron. I'm just a kid from Akron, Ohio. I'm no better than you. I'm no better than anybody else. I just happen to be freaky, right? And what did he do with his fame, with his money from selling all those shoes, all those jersey sales, the Olympic wins, all of this? What did he do with that? He's given it back to the community. With his I Promise Foundation, he created a school. Now, we got 3 members in this organization and 5 who are all passionate, right, about education. 3 of us who actually want to create a school, right? So we really look up to LeBron for actually having done it some years ago, creating the I Promise School in Akron, Ohio for underserved kids in that community where he grew up. Not only that, but he guarantees a full ride scholarship to Akron University in Ohio, right? So we're talking about the pathway to generational wealth, the pathway to sustainability for individuals who grew up in poverty, who grew up in the ghetto, right? Where LeBron grew up, right? Who may not make it with basketball, but now they got a college degree paid for because of LeBron James. So the impact off the court has been just as great as the impact on the court, pouring back into the community and the people, which to me is unquantifiable. It's timeless. It is priceless. Like, it's hard to really even measure that level of impact of all the kids he's been impacting, of all the families he's been impacting, that he's been pouring back into. And I would venture to say that LeBron was the first of the NBA athletes who really showed the power of the athlete voice, not just in basketball and in shoe sales, right? But on social issues, and in the fact that we got all this bread, we got all this money, right? LeBron got $1 billion deal from Nike. We got to give it back to the community. And now that is the norm, right? You got Russell Westbrook with a whole community center that's going to get built in SoCal, right? You got murals of Kobe all over the place, right? All of this stuff. You got Trae Young, who is giving a community center to Norman here in Oklahoma, right? You got athletes all the time now giving back to their communities. LeBron started that. So that impact off the court, unquestionable.
One more thing, assault. No real blemishes when you talk about impact off the court. From an 18-year-old who was just handed, like I'm saying, a kid from Akron, from an 18-year-old who was just handed on the face of Sports Illustrated, you know what I'm saying, all of the projections for, again, when we were 18, I couldn't even fathom, couldn't even imagine. And to do all of it and still not, you're in year 21 and niggas aren't talking about any problems that you have off the court for real. Niggas aren't talking about, you know what I'm saying, he not in the right head. No, it's always just been this nigga in ball and the shit that he does off the court. So again, and you know, no shade to Mike, but he can't say that. Not a lot of people can say that in general. Not just Mike, but not a lot of people can say that in general, especially niggas who didn't get an opportunity to play college ball, didn't get an opportunity to really have experienced coaches and great coaching staffs in their younger years, which we haven't really talked about the way Michael got over LeBron. Like, this is a nigga who's literally just, his teammate's dad was his high school basketball coach and he went from there to being in the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot to do as a child. And that's what, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot to do. So just wanted to add that little salt on there too.
Great point. Great seasoning. Great Lowry's, you know, seasoning salt. I'm seasoned haters give me that seasoned salt. Lowry's, shout out to Dope, you know what I'm saying? That is a great point, because Mike, he do got some blemishes off the court. Now, again, we all make mistakes, you know what I'm saying? But Mike he got some questions. Was it a flu game? Was it a flu game? He didn't have the flu, nigga. I've had a bad hangover too, brother. You know, you got a gambling problem. It's all right. We're all redeemable. We can all overcome it. But guess who don't got none of those off the court issues? Guess who stayed with Savannah? Nigga. The whole time. Since high school sweetheart till now.
Talk to him.
Now, I don't know what that nigga do in his private life, but it's never gotten out of TMZ.
Right. Type shit.
So shout out. They are the epitome of a beautiful black couple too. And another impact off the court.
Facts.
She.
And we gave LeBron 5s on both.
5s on both, yes.
Impact on
and off the court. We rest.
We gave LeBron a 5. We gave Jordan a 4. I did because just off the court. It's kind of what it says about LeBron James.
We are back for our second to last part of these statistical categories, and they will be longevity and legacy. We're going to start with longevity. We are now in year 21. I mean, I feel like there really isn't that much that has to be said. You know, only one other nigga has played as long, and you know, he was great, but he's the only other one who's played this long, and that's Vince Carter. And so, just thinking about the longevity, and then I would argue to say that years in his prime, he got 13 of them. I would argue.
Okay.
That from, I'll probably argue from about 2011 to now, we're still watching him play the prime of his basketball. As we are watching him grow, in terms of the other things people were so sure that he was not good at, we're watching this man shoot threes and make threes at a percentage that real three-point shooters be shooting. You know what I'm saying? So just to add that to the longevity, I think that is also something to say, and why I think it's an argument that we can say he's still in his prime. For him to be in year 21 and he not really out the top 10 in best basketball players who are playing currently, But like, you know what I'm saying? He might not be top 5 anymore, but that's also very recent. Like, I feel like even last year, niggas, you know? So, like, I'm thinking about that as longevity, too. Legacy. Do you want to add something with longevity?
No, that's beautiful. Beautifully said. I feel like that is the most clear-cut argument here.
And then I'm going to go with 5. And then I'm going to go legacy. I think to all the points that we sort of talked about, his impact, how really said he sort of started a wave, the same way Jordan started a wave with the shoes and all that stuff. Now we see the wave of what can we really use that money for. We see a wave of what is the real base of, because like niggas want to be like Jordan, but I feel like the more time goes on, because basketball evolves, so do people. And people were becoming more athletic, bigger than what Michael was, but more comparatively to what LeBron was doing. So I think that it becomes that legacy of just as much as we were talking about all the stuff prior to LeBron. Now we're talking about, well, what are these other big-ass, athletic-ass niggas doing with all their athleticism and with all their talent that they can have? Why aren't they doing what LeBron James doing? Why hasn't Giannis been as dominant? You know what I'm saying? Some of these people that we see are the same stature. Why isn't it? So, and that legacy still stands. That legacy of now this nigga has the most points scored ever. He also has top 5 in assists ever. Point guards who've played for years can't even say that they got more assists than this nigga, right? We're talking about a nigga who some folks may argue that he was snubbed from a couple of the accolades that he could get, right? And some would say that he might have deserved more accolades than what he has. And I think that with that, right, and somebody, I forgot who, but somebody said it perfectly, because we're still watching LeBron James play, we're taking everything. Like when you roll cement, before that cement's gone, you take everything out of that cement, you still can. Whereas Michael Jordan's career is already cemented. You can't nitpick all those things that are laid down in the fall. So we're still trying to nitpick at all these things. And I think really once that just clears over and we look at these same stats and accolades later down the line when he's done playing, and we look at what Michael did, barring LeBron James may win some more, may not, right? I think regardless, when we go back and look at it, it's going to still be, nah, this nigga was still, like, there's still not a nigga, like, too many niggas that I can argue are better than him. And if I want to argue with them, there's really only one. And I feel like that argument in terms of what he's done with his legacy has sort of died down and really whittled away the longer that he's continued to play basketball, just to be frank and to be honest. And that's what I think is what's so great about his legacy, that he's done it since he started. Like, not to say that Michael didn't, but he literally, since he was 18, and was like, oh no, you're gonna be special, like a little bit more than what we thought. And so that's what I got for legacy.
Great point, sir. I would only add, you know what I'm saying? Listen, the longevity, it's clear. 21 years, as Tevin said, 13 in the prime. My years that he's in the prime might be a little earlier into the Cleveland years and a little before these most recent LA years, but I think we're both at 13 years in the prime. All of those years really freaking good, right? Really freaking good. The longevity is stupid, right? You see all of the Instagram posts, all of the slides, all of the tweets showing the dads that LeBron played and the sons that he's played. That's how long he's been in the league, right? Is that like he's playing 2 generations. He's playing Daddy and Junior. He's playing 1 and 2.
He got coaches mad on the sideline.
And he better than both of them, right? He got people who's coaching. They say, oh, they coaching and got beer bellies, yelling at him who he used to post up in the Cleveland days. That's how long bro's been in the league, right? So the longevity is just ridiculous. It's stupid. And it speaks to the height of athletic prowess that we've ever seen in the NBA. That he can stay so healthy, that he takes care of his body in such a way that he's always ready to play the game for the last 21 years. And then with legacy, think about all the players that talk about LeBron, who are still playing LeBron currently, but talk about him in his different eras, whether it's Miami, the second run in Cleveland, or now in LA, who he dominated. Paul George, DeMar DeRozan, right? Who are currently, Kevin Garnett, who was his rival, hated his guts, You know what I'm saying? Who's even like, bruh, nah, LeBron that guy. He's that guy. You know what I'm saying? Players who played with him, Iman Shumpert, right? That also speaks to LeBron James' legacy. And it's still, as Tevin said beautifully, it's still being written. It ain't even over. Like, you know, we really need to have this 10 years from now when he's out the league, 5 years from now when he's out the league, right? But his legacy is already there as the greatest player of all time. Period, Pooh.
Period. As my bronsexual said it best.
Well, it's a good thing he's still writing, man. Because like if his book was over now, that'd be a beautiful second place book.
It's over now. Here to go now, nigga.
Man.
Every point's just an added.
Second place book.
Just an added chapter.
An added point. We on the way to 40. We on the way to 41. We're on the way to 42.
Beautiful.
Nigga.
This nigga might play with 2 of his kids. Come
What?
on, bro. Come
That's
on,
a
bro.
beautiful written book.
Come on, bro.
This ain't a Bronny discussion.
But that goes to your legacy.
Yeah,
But that goes
right.
to your
Like,
legacy.
that's legacy for sure. The kids, like what are your kids doing? You know what I'm saying? You talked about Shay earlier. The kids have to get brought into it. The best thing Michael Jordan's kid has done is pull Larsa Pittman from Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan's old teammate, disrespecting his ass. Why? Because Jordan was a terrible teammate.
They're now separated, by the way. They separated yesterday.
It's crazy.
Oh,
Breaking news on this bitch. But he did eventually pull that.
He did it at some point.
He pulled it.
He did that.
So that shit crazy. You know what I'm saying? Pippen hates Jordan. Jordan hates Pippen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Jordan's whole documentary, he was shitting on Pippen's legacy for real. Pippen wants a response, but he's not that big. So like, that just speaks to everybody who's LeBron's teammate, even little niggas like Mario Chalmers who got into it, still speak fondly of bro. So that's just another notch on the go. Thank you.
Little salt right there.
I don't know what that has to do with longevity.
Legacy, beloved.
Oh, I got you.
Your legacy is you were a shitty teammate. You know, that nigga started crying on his documentary because the interviewer was asking so many questions about how fucking mean he was to his teammates. You don't like the way I played the game? You don't have to play like this. Cut. Give me some more whiskey. Because that nigga was a dig, bro.
That's y'all's go.
Hey, man.
That ain't supposed to be a good teammate. That's how you was a teammate, Tay? I can attest. It ain't. So Jordan ain't your GOAT.
No, they can answer.
You was a nice ass teammate, nigga.
It wasn't.
You was a kind nigga. You know what I'm saying? You got niggas ass, but you wasn't a dick.
You was like, fuck you.
Another notch. LeBron James.
For a nigga who was like,
Come on now.
who was cold. Like, it ain't like this was just another nigga either. Like,
Let's talk about it. We just brought in 2 more categories. Was you a dick or not?
was you a good teammate or no?
Is your son playing in the league? Like, come on, bro. Sheesh.
What you doing?
Were you here to make friends or were you here to win something?
Oh, here you go.
Hey, cause this nigga did punch a nigga in the face. I ain't gonna he punched his teammate in the face, and then he passed that same teammate the ball for the game winner in the finals the same season.
He did.
So sometimes you gotta go through the fire to walk out with something. Something worth getting, you gotta go through some shit to get it. And them niggas went through this shit. Hey, Draymond Green punched that nigga after they won a ring.
And they traded him.
Sometimes you just hit a nigga, bro. Sometimes champions just hit niggas, bro. I don't know what it is.
But Draymond ain't that guy on that team.
He's not. But he has so much gold. He got 4 of them. Maybe he got that gold sickness. Shout out The Hobbit, Desolation of Small, Gold Sickness, Learn Your Lore. And that nigga just turned crazy because he's around gold too much. And he said, swinging on niggas.
Hey, he hasn't won a championship since, though.
Show hasn't since he swung on that nigga. Jordan won 4 more, so that's why he's Jordan. He's Draymond though, but this is not a Draymond Jordan thing. That'd be 3 minutes
Pointless.
long.
Pointless.
Longevity and legacy. Jordan Knights.
You want to start?
Yeah. Longevity wise, you know, with LeBron James playing 21 and counting.
21. That was not a beer.
And counting.
And counting. There's
Shout out
credence
so
to that. And Jordan's highlights, it's more in the legacy category. And so I'll give LeBron the nod for longevity as he plays. Like you said, you're still nitpicking Seaman. I can't make up for ground that's already laid.
Man, y'all are killing me with this.
So,
Because
It's a good analogy.
Because you almost say it like semen. And I keep hearing semen first. I'm so sorry.
Continue, please, Tank.
But
As he slurps it up.
So for us, we give Jordan
what was it, out of 5. We give him a 4. 3.
Longevity?
Yeah, we're giving 4.
I'll counter that. Hold on, I'll counter that. Just because
That's supposed to
he
be on
might
the bench.
have the best example of longevity doesn't mean 13 years of prime, high-level MVP caliber.
No, I agree.
basketball.
I agree. It is.
It's still not longevity in its own right.
It is. It's a different type of longevity.
Yeah.
I think.
A less impressive longevity.
I think.
Sure, because he that 21
It's not
years
as
is
much.
crazy. It's crazy.
I think LeBron set the standard for. He laid the blueprint of how am I going to get the most out of this game? I'm gonna play this for X amount. Like I'm gonna play it at a high level for so long that it don't make no sense. And it's a high level, but it's not NBA Finals LeBron all the time. I think Michael Jordan is giving us, or during that 13 years, we're getting a Russell Westbrook, Allen Iverson type of every night I'm giving you 35 and you just gonna have to deal with it because I'm missing every other shot. And it's that foot on your neck. I think that's a different type of longevity. But just being an athlete, I gotta give credence to, bro, you playing in, it's only 3,000 dudes in the league, counting the coaches, and you playing 80 games minimum for 20 years.
Leading the league in minutes.
Like, that's like 16,000 games. We can't compete with that. But I think on the output, I think at maximum output, I think Michael Jordan did put out a more maxed out peak than we got with LeBron, where we seen just 27 game stretches, and then those finals performances.
Mm-hmm.
But going to the legacy of Michael Jordan, I think that's where he stands tenfolded, and that's where everything that have been talking about is created. And it's that mentality of why people think LeBron didn't turn it up a notch, where they're looking at a Kobe Bryant where he's willing and doing this, and it's all just off of the mentality of you can't stop me because I'm me. And I think that, and just that during those 13 years, it was like, bro, the man averaged 37 points he scored 3,000 points on 12 made threes his 3rd year in the league. Then proceeded to win the MVP damn near every other year for the rest of the decade. Win a championship guaranteed, more than a championship, 1.5 championships every other year for a whole decade. And this is the same model where this league is growing into being the most, like, we're seeing the most talented version of it because of this, where it was like, oh man, no, like, I don't even know if I should go play basketball because this nigga that much better than me. I can go team up with whoever. It's just like, man, the dude literally had to retire. Now, granted, there was some other outside things, internal family things, personal reasons. But on top of the personal reasons, it was like, I done everything that I needed to do out of this game. I didn't want nobody scored more points over me the last 8 years. I didn't won the last 3 championships
In a row.
they really can't guard me, so like I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna put my feet up. I'm gonna reap the benefits. And like, it's crazy to do that at the peak of your greatness, but like he came back and did it all over again. And it's like, man, it's really hard to really stop at the peak of your prime and then just come back like nothing happened. Like he said in the documentary, can't beat us unless we quit.
That's incredibly factual because no one beat him
In the finals.
facts. Because that's what he was referring to when he said they can't beat us unless we quit.
Do you have any more to add?
For longevity, I'll say there's a video on Thinking Basketball. Shout out their YouTube page. They have a video on Michael Jordan, and there's a clip from 1984 of Bob Knight, rest in peace, Hall of Fame coach, who was saying, this is before Michael Jordan entered the NBA. He is saying that, well, if you're the best scorer in the game, and you're the best defender in the game, to me, that makes you the best player in the game. And that's Michael Jordan. That was his quote from a man that wasn't even a rookie yet. So you could, if the best basketball minds at the time are saying that you are the best player in the league, not necessarily the greatest player of all time, but you're already going to be the best player in the league once you get in there, that sounds like from day one you were top 5. You look up in year 5, you now are still top 5. Not only are you top 5, you're number 1. Look up in year 10, man, not only are you still top 5, you're still number 1. You go retire, come back. Soon as you say, all right, lace the shoes up, I'm on the court, let's get this full season in, you're back to being number 1 again. Then you retire again at the age of 34. Take 3 years off. Come back again at the age of 35 after sitting on the couch because honestly, because niggas was talking shit. Because niggas was just talking shit, so he was like, cool, because I'm bored, nigga, cool. No, nothing about his legacy. Niggas was just saying, damn, Mike, you a little old now. So this nigga said, I'm going to go back to the league. Not play me in one-on-one. I'm going to just go back to the league to show you I'm still not washed. I can still play high-level basketball. And before he got hurt his first year, he was going to take the random-ass Washington Wizards to the playoffs. Niggas with a 5 seed. He gets hurt, misses a 28-game stretch of time, fell out the playoffs. And he came back, he said, man, fuck that shit. I'm 40, nigga, fuck that. Fuck that. I'm old. I'm good. So, yeah. But he was still a productive top 10 player in the league those 2 years. Borderline top 10 to top 12. I would still say LeBron at year 21 is probably what Michael would have peaked at if we were like actually this age watching him analyzing basketball, how we analyzed basketball at that time. He's not giving you 30 a night anymore, but like once a week. You remember how, what was that, 2 years ago? Once it felt like once a week LeBron would drop 50, take 3 games off.
No, that was last year.
That was last year.
Taylor,
Okay,
we playing hypotheticals? We playing hypotheticals?
No, we're not playing hypotheticals. How so? Explain.
Well, you said if Jordan were in his 21st year, he would be...
No, that's not what I said. I said LeBron in his 21st year is the equivalent of what Jordan was in 2002, which would be very old, but still a top 10 to 12 player consistently, and every now and then giving you like LeBron, because I was going to say LeBron would like score 50, but then he'd be out for 2 games. He'd come back, he scored like 48, then he was out for 2 games. Michael was the same way, but it's 2002, so it's not 50, it's 38. You would miss 3 games, come back and score 40, come back, have a game, score 28, take 2 games off, come back and score 35. He's not giving you 30 a game anymore, just like LeBron's not giving you, well, he kind of is. But it's not obviously as consistent because they know how to pace their motor, they're changing their motor, they don't got the same legs, all that old man stuff, and they know when to strike, per se.
To the longevity, to present day, the Jordan name is still synonymous with winning. Like, he's been retired for 20 years, and you see Jordan, you see that brand, you see that logo, you think of winning. You see a championship. That's what you see when you see 23 on the back of the jersey. That's what you see.
A lot of niggas.
What's the regular season MVP award named after? Who's that named after?
LeBron.
Oh yeah.
Who's the MVP award named after?
Mike, cool.
That's to have an award named after you sounds like longevity.
Or because he played hella early.
I think it's
earlier than Bill
longevity.
Russell and Jerry West.
Look, I'll give you the nod.
Jerry West got the logo, my nigga.
He do have the logo.
He can't get
I'll give you
an
the
award
nod.
named after him.
You think the niggas was getting something like that with all the white people right
You could have given it to Kareem.
Come on, bro.
They couldn't give it to Magic.
Kareem was not the nigga that they wanted it to be.
Kareem?
Let's
No, I'm
start
talking
there.
today. I'm talking today. They couldn't name the MVP award out of Kareem.
Not by the time Michael had been in the league. By the time Michael got in the league.
No, I'm talking the MVP award got named after him like 2 seasons ago. They just did this where they started like the Eastern Conference, Western Conference.
And what I'm saying
Eastern Conference, Bill
is because
either him or Larry. One
Western is
Magic.
is Magic.
yeah, because it's been so long. To what I'm saying is, once Michael's touched the league, there was no other nigga who like regardless of what Bill, Will, Kareem, all them did, they was gonna get that shit to Michael regardless. Like that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It didn't matter when, unless that shit was created prior to Michael. Like that was the only way
What
I
are you
think
talking about?
the creation of the name of the award. I think the only way that it would have been somebody else is if it was created prior to Michael Jackson, to Michael Jordan.
Oh, so you're saying they would have
Jordan
to
the
name it in the 70s?
Because once that nigga touched the league, it was all eyes on. Like he is, like you said, that niggas was just ready.
Sound like
so
a goat
like,
to me, nigga. He doing the work for a nigga.
Until LeBron came along.
Damn it. We'll see what awards they name for him because he's definitely got to retire first before.
Yeah,
He's
they
still
named him.
playing.
And
You
he's
know
got
what I'm
5 more
saying?
years. Shit.
Yeah,
Like
we'll
the
see.
nigga's still
So-
playing, so that's only.
Just to correct y'all, Eastern Conference trophies, the Bob Cousy Trophy.
Bob Cousy.
Fuck out of here.
They didn't pick
We can have another debate.
Wait, Bill Russell. I think Bill Russell got Finals MVP.
Finals MVP.
Okay, that's better than the Eastern Conference. Yeah, okay.
Larry O'Brien's the championship trophy.
yeah. That's
The Western
better.
Conference is Oscar Robinson.
Damn.
Really?
I mean, shout out to Oscar though.
Shout
Fact.
out,
Shout out to Oscar.
Russ.
Even though he won his only ring in Milwaukee, which is in the East, which is should have given that shit to fuck Bob Cousy. I hope that's on camera. I'm with JJ. Fuck Bob Cousy. That nigga's a plumber.
Dead ass.
That nigga's a plumber.
So.
All right, can we ask questions now?
Yeah, this is over.
All right, let's go back and forth.
Fuck Bob
Right.
Cousy.
Let's just go back and forth. Tell me what you got.
My first question, because like I'm gonna just go back to the beginning. We talked about primes, right? And we talked about how you said as soon as Mike came in the league, it sounded like he was gonna be number one. The same way in which LeBron was immediately coming to the league as number one. My argument with it is just winning the only reason that he still is not the best player in the league? Because all of the years, the same way that you said Michael Jordan was clearly the best player in the league, all of the years that nigga, which again is still longer, whether they won or lost, that nigga was the best nigga in the world. Like, and it was always that. So like, to say that, I feel like, a lot, like that doesn't necessarily change anything. That doesn't move me, I should say.
I think to answer your question.
Hold on. So your question was because
you said it doesn't take away from his prime because he still was a nigga who was feared in the years that he did, and he always won. I was the best scorer, then I took my break and we won and whatever. We won 3, then we won 3 again, right? And that's what you were saying, just because in those 6 years he was so dominant. And I'm only arguing, do you believe that because LeBron James did not win in all of the years that I count his prime, was he not also still the best player in the league? Because you said it almost like it was a difference. Like, because Michael Jordan won, he was clearly the best player in the league. Whereas, just because LeBron did not win, that nigga was not, he was still the best player in the league. Like, it was really a team. Outside of the one asterisk, we could still argue that he was the best nigga in the league. He just didn't have the best series. But there wasn't another nigga that niggas was like, no, this nigga's just better than LeBron. That's, you know what I'm saying? So like, does that take away for you? Because, I just sort of heard it as if it was a little different because he won those 6 and because the 6 years was we won all 6 and da. And it's not the 13 that LeBron don't got 13 finals, but most of those, the nigga was the best player in the fucking league and it was undeniable. More than 7.
Facts. Okay, I now understand your question. Thank you so much. You're so kind. I'll take it.
Niggas don't got a response.
I do have
the mic on that ass.
I do have.
So you're saying from 2011 to 2022, that was your. So that would be 11, 20, that would be 11 seasons.
That first
12
year,
seasons.
that first
In
year in
Miami.
Miami.
So that's 12 seasons. When would you consider his prime? Because I know you said it was a little earlier than Cleveland, but it doesn't go as late into LA.
Yeah, I got 2009
Okay.
to 21.
Okay.
Or 20 when they won the shit. One of those.
13. Yeah. 12 years.
So for him,
So
that'd be
11, 12. Okay.
for you, that'd be the first year he went to the finals and on to the last one he went.
Yeah. I think.
No, he went to the
No, he
first
went to
finals
finals
in
in 07. A little
Yeah.
bit before.
That's
09 was his first MVP.
That's what I'm saying, but that's 13 years.
So he's got about 11 years, according to 09 to
Oh,
2020.
I-
Well, then do 2022. Whatever the math is.
I mean,
That wasn't the question.
But
you
yeah,
asked.
no. To answer
What are
your
we
question,
talking about?
the question I honestly just asked you was just your honest opinion. When do you feel his prime started and ended? It sounded like you answered it pretty honestly to me. 09 to 2020.
Yeah.
Which would be 11 seasons, which is perfectly fine. And it sounds like he said 2011 to 2020
to currently.
to still going right now.
Yeah. Which
So 11 to 21.
Which is too
2009
much
to
season.
2022. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think to what Tevin was getting at
Answers that
was, I think, or what we were getting at with when I said LeBron or Michael Jordan is that output he was giving, it was it was so dominant. I don't think we got that from LeBron James, where he didn't. Yeah, he was quote best player in the league, known, right? But year in and year out, in those after my post Miami days, I mean, it's a new MVP every other year.
Correct.
It was not like he was winning the championship every other year either. So it's like we're seeing these new faces, new names being created, whereas with Michael Jordan, it was sustained dominance over 8 consecutive years. This sustained dominance. His sustained dominance was he was going to be in the finals, and that's great to its own thing. But it was like this nigga is start to finish. He gonna win the MVP. If it's an Olympics that year, he gonna win a gold medal. Then he gonna come in, he gonna win the MVP. Then he gonna win
The scoring
win the scoring title.
All-Star game.
Lead the league in steals.
But the whole argument
like-
with the Jordan shit, man, this is the problem though. All y'all have is those peak years. And the category is longevity. The definition of longevity is length of time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're saying 8 years or the decade of the 90s was higher than LeBron's peak is a different argument. The argument of longevity is the amount of years in the prime, which both of us are saying 11 to 13 years. Niggas are saying 9 to 10. So those are two different things. The longevity of LeBron James's dominance, right? 9 straight finals is longer than the longevity 8 straight finals, right? Incredible, stupid, right? Niggas pray to get to the finals once, twice, right?
Yeah.
Versus Jordan's 8-year span that you're talking about. That's the longevity thing. So I think to answer your question, Tevin, because niggas not gonna answer it, right? Is what they saying is they weren't trying to really knock LeBron with that. They was just saying how great Jordan was at his peak, which is a completely different debatable, a completely different debatable concept. Like whose peak was better, which is I don't even know how you measure that really. Who dunked higher? Like who gives a fuck? So what other questions?
Because I think of my longevity, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about.
No, we gave that's what I think you're missing that though. We gave the nod to him in longevity.
You did.
I still haven't spoken.
And we said his Jordan's peak was 12 years. It was 12 years.
Jordan's peak was
Yes.
12 years?
Yes. We said that in the what's the name? Before back.
What years?
87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93,
86,
95,
98.
96, 97, 98. So I got him at 11 years. Because I started him at 87.
It's the 86 to 1998.
And he takes him at 86.
And you got to take out 1 year.
Yeah, I can't check out 1994.
Or yeah,
Because he played
11 played years.
He played 32 or 28 games in 1995 and made it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
And playing matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he
actually in
retired.
the league.
Yeah,
matters.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
11 played years.
And out of those 11, he's 6 and 5, right?
6 and 0.
He's 6-0. He hasn't lost.
No. But I mean, like, because we talked about he went to extra, he didn't lose. But I'm saying like he didn't go to the finals in any of those other ones either. So like if we're going to talk about
And
the
he
ones
did
that
the
played,
finals
yeah.
specifically.
That's what I'm saying. So like again, the nigga still wasn't in his prime when if we're talking about this his prime, the nigga still wasn't even getting. You know what I mean? So it's like that's the other thing with longevity. And we gave him a 4 for longevity. And we gave LeBron a 5. And we gave both of them a 5 for legacy.
It's 12 championship MVP caliber seasons, 12 years of that, with that 1 year break, which 12 seasons in 13 years because of this break.
Yes.
Is that longevity to you?
Yeah,
That's
that's why
like-
I gave him a 4.
Because I honestly
But
would-
LeBron came and redefined it.
Yeah, in
Yes,
the same way that we redefined the other 4 that you gave for the shoes and the impact off the court. Like it's not that I think that it's a totality right of like a 4 for everybody else. In this debate against another nigga who's played for 21 years, I think that it becomes a 4 in the essence of his 5. That's all.
But his prime isn't 21 years. His prime was 13, which is one more than 12.
Correct. But
So is that just that 1 year, just that big a difference?
But no, but the prime part.
It's the whole 21.
Yeah, because
the 21
yeah.
counts to the line.
So the 21
Yeah, yeah.
and then with
That
the
long.
12 or
Yeah.
the 13 in it.
The
I got
prime
you, I
part
got you.
only goes into
I
the
got
prime of how long he was good. The nigga's still playing at the top 10 level
He was
today,
very good.
and he,
I got you.
you know,
Early
that's
on.
all. That's what I'm saying.
I
The
follow
nigga
you,
was
I
the
follow
best player on the team as soon as he got drafted.
I follow you.
Grown ass man. Didn't want to respect him.
Facts.
Like,
This
oh,
nigga-
this nigga freaky.
Dead ass, this nigga really was like, yeah, niggas saying like, we'll see
Fuck
what
this little nigga.
Facts. And then our nigga got drafted, was the best player in the league. One nigga was the best player on his team, one nigga was the best player in the league.
And that'll get into the last category of competition, which
Which
we'll
y'all
get into next.
Oh yeah.
Putting a cap on that.
We're back. This is for clutch. It's gonna be clutch. Expectations coming into the league, and then what was the last one?
Competition.
Competition. So we're just gonna start off with clutch team. LeBron James has 7 buzzer beaters, playoffs and regular season included, all time. That is a very, very, very high amount. I want it to be very clear. I want you to be very clear.
Okay, Obama.
But you know who else has 7 game winners? Who's not even in his stratosphere? Damian fucking Lillard. So it sounds like a stat that other guys who are pretty great, not all-time greats, but pretty great, can tie. There are also people that have more game winners. I don't want to misquote, so I don't want. I'm not usually a guy that goes on my phone, but I want to do this just so I don't misquote. A guy who has more game winners than their beloved king.
Our beloved king.
The
Watch Taylor's 59 and a half minutes, and
I
you
will-
will see that it's also
Facts.
his
Man,
king.
y'all would be so surprised.
He loves Braun, guys.
The Taylor followers, you're following me on this journey, but it's a journey because I'm a Taylor. Number 3. Well, let's tie for second. We're gonna say tie for second. Joe Johnson has more buzzer beaters than LeBron James. A guy who's a great. Kobe Bryant,
Great.
all-time great, has 8. But who has the most by himself? No tie. No equal, no peer, no one shoulder to shoulder, eye to eye with this nigga. Sounds like something of GOAT quality, if you will. The most, at 9. This guy who keeps getting brought up when we keep looking at the top of these motherfucking lists, that bald-headed menace himself, Michael Jordan.
Context matters.
Buzzer beaters, that's the context. In the totality of your regular season and playoffs, because LeBron does have the most playoff buzzer beaters.
High pressure.
Facts. He's also in closer games since the other nigga was shutting the door. But you know, context matters. But
Team sport.
context matters. Hey,
Team sport.
hey,
All 7.
we're gonna touch the team sport because there's a lot of there's 3 categories here. But just the most. When you look at what he did in the regular season, how he was able to do it consistently in the regular season, consistently in the playoffs, consistency. He doesn't shy away from any moment, anywhere, if the moment does arrive. Sometimes the game is over before then, sometimes it's not. If it's not, he's shutting the door. That's clutch to me. 5 out of 5. Tank, anything for clutchness?
Kind of what you were saying at the end there. The Michael Jordan's clutch gene is he shuts the door. So if
Because being clutch is more than just 2 minutes left in the game.
then it's not just being clutch when that is clutch is very high pressure moment when it's 2 seconds on the clock and you get thrown the
That's
ball.
the sexy clutch.
Yes, that's the eye candy.
That's the
But
highlight.
being so clutch all the time to where seeing game 7s and best of 7 series is far fetched for you. Being so clutch at times when knowing you're the odds-on favorite, you don't lose a playoff series. Like, I'm talking about just being clutch all the time, not just when it matters, because it definitely matters. I'm not saying that those don't, but I don't want to undermine because it's the highlight play of just that third quarter steal, those 3 third quarter steals in a row. You got that's it. You started that 13-4 run. And the
It goes
game
from an 8-point lead to now it's an out of hand 22.
the game is over.
I'm sitting in the 4th quarter because I
You
decided I'm done now.
Warm up the bus.
Yeah, it's 8 minutes left in the 3rd. I got tequila waiting on me at the craps table. Shut this shit down. I'm done. We're in motherfucking Seattle, nigga. Gary ain't paying. Gary talking shit. All right, let me go get off this real quick. I'm ready to go gamble. We in Indiana, nigga, in 1988.
let's shut this shit down. Playoff series Michael Jordan's been favored in, he's lost 2. Playoff series, not final series. Playoff series that his team was favored to win, he's lost 2. That sounds clutch to me. Because clutch is not just the sexy stuff. Clutch is when it's time to win, regardless of how much time is left in the game. When it's time to win, I win. That's clutch. And then also moments there. Michael Jordan has plenty of highlight moments. Got the in Cleveland. He's got the let me play it back. Got the in Utah against number 32 from Utah.
Don't hurt yourself now, player. Don't hurt yourself now. Oh, okay. Oh,
like,
wow.
He's
got
got
to
the
switch hands in the final, like
to put the game away. Like there's moments.
Your point now, Taylor. Your point.
There's moments that is in this category and he's got them. You need one, go look it up. There's whole YouTube montages of it. There's plenty of evidence, long video evidence of how clutch this man is. Wham, bam, thank you, Sam. No, we're not doing that. I'm bugging. I thought we were gonna do one at a time.
no, y'all got all 3. Knock them out.
All right, let's go. Pressure. Like I said earlier, a little too earlier with Bob Knight video. He was saying before Michael Jordan entered the league that he's the best scorer and he's the best defender. Sounds like the best player to me. So he had the pressure of before he got drafted, you're going to be not just the best player on your team. There's a very, 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 very high likely chance you're going to be a top 3 player in the league the second you step foot on the court. He won Rookie of the Year. Next year, broke his foot. Unfortunate timing. Came back 3rd year, he was back on his 35 plus a game. And then he did it again. And then he did it again while winning an MVP and a DPOY. And then he did it again. And then he did it again, winning another MVP. Then he did it again, winning the first of his 3 3-peats. Or first of his 3 championships in his 3-peat. So it's like, for a first 8-year stretch, it sounds like the expectations you had coming into the league of being the best player, it sounds like you said, that's not too much pressure, I got this, put the cape on. I got this. Scoring titles, led the league in steals, played point guard for a 40-game stretch, averaged 10 assists and 30 points. I mean, whenever they asked him to do this, that, and the third, he did this, that, and the third. 5 years into his career, I'm going to say around 89, 90, that's when Doug Collins got fired. Brought in Phil Jackson. Completely overhauled offensive system, bringing the triangle. Completely changed from how the type of game he was playing. Completely new style of play. 6 years into his career. Is he going to live up to the pressure? Is he going to be able to run this system that's tailored for him now that he has a competent team around him? Is he going to be able to be the guy and deliver? And then he did. Sounds like he lived up to the pressure to me. And then competition. My man had to play the entirety of his NBA career in the Eastern Conference. So we'll just look at Eastern Conference competition and then the Western Conference competition that he played the 6 times in the finals, because he only has 6 finals appearances. From 1984, which was Michael's rookie year, to 1990, he had to play in Larry Bird's, the remnants of the NBA champion the year before, Philadelphia 76ers, the emergence of the bad boy Pistons, and he had to sharpen his sword, earn his stripes, so to speak, against the likes of the Defensive Player of the Year, Sidney Moncrief, a guard who won Defensive Player of the Year in a big man's era. He had to get past that on his way up with the Bucks. He had to essentially play every Hall of Famer that was in his conference was consistently his competition in the playoffs. So yes, there were years where his famous 63 against Larry Bird, everybody loves to do that. The clip of him hitting it between the legs and just pull up on Larry. They lost that game and that series. Because Michael, scoring 63, was playing a Hall of Fame team in the middle of their 1986 run that is considered a top 4 team in NBA history. Which is, Michael wasn't going to beat them. You look at just the bad boy Pistons, back-to-back NBA championships, had to beat Michael Jordan to get to that NBA Finals and win that. Team full of Hall of Famers. And then when he finally gets past the Eastern Conference Hall of Fame full Eastern Conference, he gets to Magic Johnson his first finals. Beats that nigga. Gets to Clyde Drexler, a guy who was neck and neck in MVP race. Arguably people were saying, is he better than Mike? We're going to find out. And Mike said, fuck no. 1993 Charles Barkley, the reigning NBA MVP, came in there. Michael dropped 40, 11, and 11 in 6 games. 41-11-11, excuse me. To the MVP, he said that was my award, but y'all was tired of me winning it, so I'm gonna bust this nigga's ass. 41-11-11. That's just his first 8 years in the league. So it sounds like to me, lived up to the pressure. And the competition backs up who we played. Hall of Famers galore. We can do a Hall of Fame check for check if we need to. But they don't want to do that. It can get nasty. That puts the cap on that.
The last part of this statistical analysis of these two, one historically great player, one currently great on his way to being historically great, right? And that will be the clutch gene, pressure living up to expectations, and competition. I'm gonna kick it off with the clutch gene. I just want to make a little note. I don't know if it moves y'all at all, but you were correct in that Michael Jordan has 9 total buzzer beaters, quote unquote. LeBron James,
which are different from game winners.
LeBron James is the only nigga with more than 2 with 1 second left on the clock. He has all 7 of them have come with 1 second on the clock. So all 7 were either game winning or game tying. Not saying that there's a difference, but like there's a difference between taking a shot with 5 seconds left and there being a little possession in there where they could, or there's not going to be shit after this. And he's the only nigga with 2. Not only is he the only nigga with 2, but every other nigga is 6 for 50. Like the totality of the NBA is 6 for 50 on those shots. So I just wanted to do a little clarification on that. I also wanted to just talk about how LeBron James don't have this dog mentality, this clutch gene, all these other type of things. But again, we're still seeing his name, and it might not be the top, but Michael only has 2 more than him, and we're still talking about a nigga who's still currently playing, right? So like, it's not like he's out of that conversation either. And we talk about a nigga who's like, when we talk about this nigga Jordan and clutch G, like it'd be like far and away with every other nigga, I swear, when we be having these conversations. And then you look at the stats and you're like, really though? So it's like I don't like that nod that Michael gets over LeBron, just in the sense of like he was so feared, or again the 6-0 he never lost. Like that shit is cool. But the nigga also had to take game winning and game tying shots, and he has just a few less, right? So it's not like he also wasn't doing, So that's all I wanted to sort of put about the clutch gene. Also wanted to give him that little 5 right there.
5 on the clutch gene for sure. Clutch stats is stupid, shutting down entire franchises on that 8-year run straight to the finals. Folks was fearing Braun for real. That's a part of the clutch gene too. And something that I don't even know if the metrics track, but maybe we could find them, is making the right play in the clutch. Because as Taylor said, it's not just all about taking the shots, right? Are you making the shots? Are you the best playmaker on the court? LeBron, clearly a better playmaker. Next category is pressure living up to expectations. This, in addition to the impact off the court, is the most clear-cut categories that LeBron has over Jordan. That is the reason that we put him over Michael Jordan. The pressure off the court, the pressure of LeBron James at just 16 years old, unparalleled. We're talking about 16 years old. ESPN is out. It's courtside at his game. St. Vincent, St. Mary's. We talking about the cover of Slam, the cover of Sports Illustrated. Don, the chosen one. Before he even stepped foot in the NBA, he was still wearing a high school jersey, right? We're talking about Dick Vitale saying, if this guy, like he's still in high school, if this guy doesn't go down as one of the best players of all time, he did something wrong. We're talking about a 17, 18-year-old in high school, and they're already saying, if you're not the best player or one of the best players of all time, your career is a failure. We're talking about the highest expectations and pressure that we've ever seen on a player, ever, in the history of the NBA. And with all of that pressure on this teenager that LeBron James was when he got into the league, not only did he live up to those expectations and become one of, undeniably, right, we debating this GOAT stuff, but undeniably he is one of the greatest players of all time, right? Not only did he live up to that expectation, but he surpassed it. to become the greatest of all time. LeGoat, right? He surpassed the expectations, right? To not only become a great playmaker, a great pass-first guy, but also the best scorer in NBA history. LeBron James, the best scorer in NBA history, right? So we're talking about the expectations, the pressure, the highest they've ever been. They've ever been on a player. And he surpassed them. So the in that category of pressure and living up to expectations, it's a 5, and it's not close in the categories. Jordan was drafted number 3 overall. LeBron number 1 overall as an 18-year-old. Hakeem Olajuwon was drafted over him, and Sam freaking Bowie, man. So clearly that Bob Knight shit, there was 2 niggas that Bob Knight's homies was like, we taking him over Jordan. So the expectations clearly wasn't all that, right? So pressure, expectations, LeBron clears Jordan pretty clearly.
And then we just get into the competition.
The competition, man, it's only gotten better.
It's
only gotten freaking better.
the competition as a whole, in general, has only gotten better. We can make the argument that the East, when he was playing, had more higher-level competition than playoffs, right? But when we're talking about the teams that were here, like the teams that LeBron had to play, and even some teams that LeBron didn't have to play because they didn't even make it out the West. Some of the greatest teams to come out of the basketball, or out of the NBA.
NBA today is soft.
People might say that the NBA today is soft, right? That the NBA back in the day, Jordan played in such a hard league, and they used to push people. Did you ever think that maybe they were so physical back in the day because they weren't as athletic as now? Tank said earlier, Jordan did all this stuff before the advances in sports medicine. What he failed to mention was that Jordan did all this also before the expansion and the growth of the human being in human history. As humans grow, over time, we become bigger, we become faster, we become stronger. Hence LeBron James, hence Wemby, right? So LeBron is playing more physically gifted players than Jordan ever did. It wasn't no KDs, bruh. You know, like when you was KD's height, you was on the block.
Period.
You was playing in the post. Like people had very defined roles in the NBA in the 80s and in the 90s. LeBron chaperoned a new era in the league. Positionless basketball. Shout out to Eric Spoelstra. Shout out to Miami Heat. Positionless basketball. You go wherever the hell you want. Steph Curry took it to new heights with the 3-point. We shoot from half court now. So it really don't matter what your defense is. This is a competition, right, that LeBron has beat in the finals and in his losses has lost to in the finals. We're talking about he's beat Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, all future Hall of Famers, all all-time great players. So the competition category is also pretty clear to us on the bronze-sexual side because it is objectively clear that the human specimen has gotten better at basketball today than it was when Jordan was playing from 1980 to 2003 when LeBron came into the league and said, I'm freakier, I'm more athletic, I'm taller, I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm faster. And then he played against a bunch of guys who was also big, strong, fast, tall.
And some of them niggas that Michael was playing, or the competition that Michael had, they was beating that nigga's ass. Like
bullying his punk ass.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not too many niggas is just saying they one nigga really is the only nigga who can say I gotta win a record. That's it. Not undefeated. Not I've never lost. I've never lost to that nigga in a playoff series ever. I don't know what that feel like. Y'all might call that nigga y'all's GOAT. But he wasn't better than me. So
in the last 3 categories, 5s all across the board. The only not 5,
Larry.
The only not 5 is in the rings category. So we're at 49 out of 50.
Yes, 49 out of 50.
So for LeBron James. Overall, in all of these categories, 49 out of 50. Damn near perfect. Go with James. We rest our case. We don't even got to hear from these other niggas because the argument's over.
For pressure, you gave him a 4 out of 5 instead of a 5.
5 out of 5 on pressure.
No, for Mike.
For Mike, we gave him a 4. We gave Mike a 4.
So
Four of those last two
how
categories.
did Mike not live up to his pressure, and how was Mike's
No.
competition not as good?
What was
No,
the hype coming into the
It was
league?
the pressure.
That
Just
was part
because
of the
y'all
category.
didn't know about that Bob Knight video doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
No, we didn't say that. That's not what
Was
happened.
you alive when he said that shit?
None of you were alive.
No.
Right,
when he
right.
said that.
So
that doesn't
you
mean
watched the
he
you
didn't
watched
say it.
you watched the YouTube clip just like niggas have watched the YouTube
Facts.
clip. You wasn't alive then to feel the pressure, to see that shit, to understand it.
You're in his inner circle and you felt the pressure, or you just watched.
I
niggas
saw
play
that shit.
basketball?
I'm a fan like you.
You watched a nigga play basketball.
I'm a fan like you.
Exactly. So we
Yeah.
both watched two niggas play basketball.
We watched
and
them
we
live.
watched niggas say pressure about your nigga. We watched
watched
niggas
them.
say pressure about our nigga.
We watched them live.
When am I lying?
You watched tape. When am I lying?
Come back, y'all.
What does that have to do with the pressure? Because I didn't watch it doesn't mean you didn't feel pressure.
But the
what
argument
I'm
is,
saying.
but you didn't hear the argument. We never said that he didn't say it. We're saying that the pressure comparatively was different. As in a nigga, if a nigga,
Yes, it was different, but just because it was different
was
does not mean
greater.
Michael. Yes, it can be greater, and his is still a 5. Y'all decided to cap it at 5. They're both 5s. If you're pressure before you're drafted, because Mike was drafted at 21 years of age. That's how old Michael Jordan was when he
After
first played
he played
basketball.
college
That's
ball, too.
3 years older than LeBron James.
Correct.
That 3 years is not 10. He was not 26 years old when he got into the league, where he was some adult ready to face pressure.
the nigga went to college.
So going to college means you're just
Hey,
like Rashad McCants. Rashad McCants won a national championship at
Straw
North
man,
Carolina.
straw man. What the fuck that got to do with what we arguing about?
Because just because
Say, go ahead, 'cause this nigga-
No.
Go ahead,
He's saying that because Mike went to college, that just means he's automatically more
No,
prepared.
you
We
said-
have seen plenty of niggas go to college and not
Yes.
be prepared to get all that success of being a
but
high
again-
draft pick.
But again, to our point, and when we're talking about a nigga who did not go to college, who
Yes.
went straight from being a high schooler
Yes.
to going to
This is
the
why
top,
he got a 5. I'm
right?
not here to talk about LeBron's 5.
Correct.
We're talking about Mike's
The
4.
same way that we've been statistically talking about the rest of these things and how some of them could be a 5 for real, but we're talking not about his comparison to everybody else. We talk about his comparison
Yes.
to LeBron.
They both
And that
got
one's
compared to be
and I
a
think the
best
difference-
player in
I
the
think the
league,
difference-
all-time great, off the rip. They both
but
had
again, I
that.
think the difference-
One had
No,
more
listen,
media because they
one
had
nigga
television.
diversified.
They had
Factory.
Sports Illustrated. They had
Fellas, what is the argument? Like what?
that.
we're
Mike
losing.
had just as much pressure, so I feel Mike gets a 5 out of 5.
So
That's
what?
the
But
argument.
so at his draft place, is that what you're saying? So like
no,
his draft
not-
place is
it doesn't
6
matter
and
if he was
84?
drafted 3rd or if he was drafted 1st or 2nd. It's the hype he had coming in. The Rockets didn't need a guard. They didn't draft
How
Mike
does that not matter?
because
That does matter.
No, but I'm saying too.
How does that not matter?
It's not that it.
because he went 3rd instead of 1st. Holy moly!
But I'm not arguing that that's like.
It's not like he went
I'm not
18th.
saying that. No, at all. It's not. The nigga still went 3rd.
Yes.
But he went 3rd after still playing college ball.
can't-
And
I
again,
know-
we're not saying that the nigga didn't say that shit. Clearly, somebody saw that he was gonna be great.
A lot
But
of
the
niggas.
But the nigga still. All I was saying is the nigga still got more experience past being a high schooler with good coaching on a good P5 school. He won a national championship in college.
Taylor, your
All
argument.
of that a nigga never could
Moderate
even
his
fathom
comment.
because he went straight from being a high schooler, winning a high school championship,
Yes.
to going to playing in the highest level of basketball.
Yes.
And I'm saying that pressure on a I'm not saying that a 21-year-old still isn't a child, but there's a difference between a nigga who's gone to college, doing the things at the highest level, at the collegiate level. I'm not saying that everybody has the same level of maturity. Of course, people still make mistakes. However, there's still
As
a
we saw
lot.
with Mike.
There's still a lot more experience that comes from a nigga who still got to do that than a nigga who did not. And that's all I'm saying is the difference. And I think that pressure is greater because he was still on all the same things. He was still on Sports Illustrated. The niggas were literally saying if you're not the greatest as a high schooler, your career is going to fail. I don't know what they were saying about Mike at that time in the same sense, but at least Mike could have been a little bit older and have more experience going to a collegiate championship and playing at a collegiate level and then being able to see, past high school. That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna stop this argument right here because this is actually like one of the age-old things of like whether or not you come out of high school, you get 3 extra years in the league, or you go into college, you're a little bit more mature, your body's a little bit more mature. There really isn't an argument here. So just back to the original question of like, we're talking about pressure, right? So I don't think this has anything to do with pressure in terms of like whether you came out in high school, whether you came out in college. At the end of the day, both of these two niggas were top 3 picks. They were expected to change the franchise.
Yes. And they
Jordan in 84 came off of consecutive losing seasons. LeBron James went to a poor Cavs team that for 4 years consecutively of Larry Hughes, whatever the fuck that nigga's name
This
is.
Larry Hughes. This is
Zajunas Elgauskas, Danielle Marshall,
Carlos Boozer,
Daniel
shout out.
Gibson. Okay, mid.
Yeah.
So both of these two. So just to mute that point, it's a moot point. It's not going anywhere. They both came from sorry ass situations. Going back to pressure.
Facts. Well, that was one of the gripe I had was
Yeah, I
just
think that was
the
on the
21 to
corner
18 thing. Besides that, I didn't have no other issues with it, honestly.
To that though, just to clarify, when we're ranking them and holding that and like making sure that's accounted for, Jordan couldn't go to what's the name? Like he literally, even if he was talented enough, he couldn't go to the league out of high school. That wasn't implemented until '96. So like,
Good point.
That you can go after.
yeah. So when it's just going off of the hype. Jordan was renowned as the best college basketball player, best player in the basically in America, in the world, in college, just like they did LeBron in high school.
Hakeem Olajuwon at the time, I would say was better.
Yeah, but it was a big
Rockets
man's
just
era.
didn't need a guard.
That was the difference. 2 7-footers went ahead the best player in the country.
And if we're just talking about that, yes, that context matters. Like Jordan couldn't have come out in high school. Who knows if he would have? That's just a hypothetical. But you put pressure on a 17, 18-year-old is more than you putting pressure on a 20, 21-year-old. That's the reason that like all of that shit in like putting that pressure on in high school hits heavier because you're more likely to crack under pressure as a younger person versus you've been through some life experiences, you've experienced college, all this kind of stuff. You've had the hype, like you won a championship, so like you faced the media. LeBron was facing the media as a sophomore in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like you 15, 16-year-olds, you know, it's crazy. So that's why like the nod is. And yes, you could say that they should both be 5. But this is a GOAT debate where we are saying LeBron's over Jordan. So in one of these or 2 of these categories that I have it, Jordan got to be a 4. And the pressure is the one that like if LeBron could be an 8, he would be an 8 in pressure just because like it was so ridiculous.
Sure.
And it still is because like you said, the media hype was more, but now you got social media and stuff that you've had for LeBron's entire career. You know what I'm saying? Like Jordan, you had TV, but you did not have social media in the same way. That pressure is even bigger, bro. You know what I'm saying? And some of that was self-inflicted, you know, with the decision in 2010 and all that kind of stuff. But some of that stuff was just niggas was hating on, bro.
Yeah, and it's easy to just go back and again pick everything out and just say, no, but he does this. Oh, but he, you know, like it's easy to do that when we're still trying to. We're not watching. We're watching his fucking documentary. You know what I'm saying? We watching him retelling shit. Where it's like, and again, I don't want to bring up this point. I still think it's a good point, but none of us even got to watch that nigga play. You might have watched him play in Washington. You was probably 12 at that time. So like you really might have been able to watch him play. But like none of us have been able to like really watch that nigga play to really understand. We just hear that shit from old heads. And I think that also plays a big part into, it's easy to go back and look at footage of all the good shit he's done. Because I promise, again, we talk about this shit in 10 years. The videos of LeBron are going to be insane. His highlight type shit, they're going to be stupid. Like, you're not going to be able to say that that nigga wasn't one of the best. But again, because he's still playing, I do think that's a little bit different. And I think that it definitely plays a role in the argument, in the conversation. Which, we can't choose when we're born. However, we're talking about a nigga that we've seen really change the game on an intimate level, right? To a nigga that we have seen it on a back end level, right, with his impact, but like I don't know. I can't go back and tell you one thing I got to watch.
I'm gonna tell you.
AKA they just trolling because they like to be different for our generation.
I think y'all kind of argued them into a catch-22. Like,
They're gonna lose this one.
well, I mean, like you automatically lose if you say, well, none of y'all niggas watch this, so you can't argue for them.
I mean, that just don't mean shit. Because it's like you can watch full games on YouTube.
We had
The same way niggas watched this shit on television in 1991 is the same way we're watching this shit on YouTube because it was television in motherfucking 1991, my nigga. The shit wasn't shit. It's probably better quality today on goddamn YouTube in 280p
But
if we're
Taylor,
keeping it a fucking buck. That's the same shit they were doing. It's not like today.
we're not arguing.
To their point though, I think you're missing the point. Their point was like we only get the highlights.
No, it's not the highlights. You can watch the game.
Can I?
You can watch.
So you watched all.
I follow Intuition Hoops on
These
YouTube,
two niggas
which is
watched the game for
48-minute
82
clips
games.
of Yes, I watch.
You've watched
Michael
82
Jordan
games from Michael-
games.
Oh, from Michael-
Why do you think I'm? Look at me, Cameron. You think I'm just some nigga talking for fucking fun, nigga? I'm here. Cause there's a nigga out I know's watching this shit that think he really know ball cause he went to college and hooped and didn't do shit and lost to me. Niggas like that made me get in my bag for real. I watch games, nigga.
Yo, so I'm gonna bring us back in real quick.
Yep.
Man, you just heard the debate from both sides. You know, we had on our left the Bronsexuals. Go ahead and give a hand for the Bronsexuals.
Let's go. LeBron James. Akron.
To the right, very, very respectfully, we have the Jordans. The Jordanites.
Bald Menace Mafia.
Shout out to Milk Dud community.
First shows.
The Milk Dud
That's
community.
crazy. Both of these niggas have heads full of hair.
Facts,
So-
I have waves under here.
We're going to give a 5-minute closing period to both of our teams because we want to be respectful here. We want to hear the hot takes. We're going to start with the Bronsexuals. What y'all got?
I'm gonna just.
Is this back and forth or just?
Yeah, no, let's go back and forth.
I can just start as hot as it gets. When it comes to just playing the game of basketball,
Oh, here we
I think
go.
it's really hard to argue that Michael Jordan does it better than LeBron James.
It's not easy. You ain't lying. This was not easy.
As a
I will admit
nigga
that.
who is superior athletically, who is clearly, as we've seen statistically, outside. I kind of heard your box number shit, the plus minus shit. Like I kind of
Because that shit didn't sound good, so it was like, I'm not about to
No. I really gotta read that shit. Like listening to you say it's
I
different
feel- I
than me
follow,
like
I follow, I
reading
follow.
it. And so like for me, it's like that shit sound good, but in the same way you said we didn't want to hear that, I feel like that's a way for Michael Jordan fans to cope for the fact that his stats ain't better than LeBron.
Not the cope.
You know what I mean?
Go.
They are, though.
Go.
So it just feels like in the same sense. Whatever, because in basketball terms, the nigga does everything better. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start there. And if y'all got something to say about that,
Michael or LeBron ever dropped 41, 11, 11 in the finals?
in the finals, he's dropped better stats than that in a
No, he averaged
playoff
that?
game.
He averaged that? He averaged
He didn't
41, 11, and
average
11 in the
41,
finals?
And actually,
50%?
I think he dropped 41, 9 and 8, and then did it twice in the game
Wait,
in
so
the
you telling me-
series against the Warriors.
So you telling me he almost?
No, he dropped 2 40 balls.
Forget what I said. Average for the series. That's 6 games.
Not on the series because I played
Against
7.
Phoenix.
Because I played
41, 11, and 11. He did 41, 9, and 8.
How many games I play?
6.
That's what LeBron did, 41, 9, and 8, and he did it. He only did it like.
Oh,
3 times.
so he didn't even average
No,
41, 9, and 8.
He didn't average
He probably averaged about 30. I would say
He
maybe
averaged
37.
a trip dub though. He averaged.
Yeah, let's say like 30.
That sounds like 37, 8, and 8
8
to me. Something
Yeah,
still
he
absurd.
averaged a trip dub.
37, 8, and 8 just sounds. I'm not gonna hold you. That does sound fucking absurd.
Crazy.
And we know him to be the triple double
Yeah.
nigga in the playoff. Like we know what that nigga get in the postseason. But sorry, Tango. What was you saying?
We don't know what game 7s are over here in the
Yeah.
finals. We don't know what that shit
We've
is.
seen some
Because it don't get
second
that
round
close.
game 7s. We've seen some
You
conference
know, like
finals
we
game
said, that
7s.
clutch gene ain't as
have.
it's not supposed to be. It's not all sexy.
You know,
But yet, when we talk about LeBron James clutch gene, it's all sexy things. So like, I'm just saying, he it's just not. When it's not even an opportunity to be close, then like, yeah, it's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be what's the name?
But
We
then
got
we
you
already
out
talked
about
about
25.
that. But we already talked about that though.
Because I feel like clutch for Mike should be 5.
The only
Clutch for
time
Mike
the
should be
only
5.
time the nigga was favored. The only time the nigga was favored is the one that we have the asterisks on.
I'm saying we don't go though. Like, the more and more we go with this argument, all I'm hearing is the length, and we not talking about when we talking about pure basketball being played. It is still not the length. We talking about
No pause.
right now. It is still what is the mark of basketball. It is what Mr. Michael Jeffrey Jordan did and gave us.
What was the first thing I said? if we look at the statistics of basketball,
It's not though.
again, so are you going to just the 6 wins that the nigga got in the finals?
I'm not just
because
going
that's
to the
not all
6
basketball.
I'm not
is.
just going
Because
to the
that's-
He's looking at his accolades.
I'm looking at him.
And-
I'm looking at maximum once. I'm literally looking at the accolades and what they did in each season comparatively. Michael Jordan has more rings than him. He has more Finals MVPs than him. He has more MVP. He's the same or
He
more
has-
MVPs
he
than
only
him.
has
He has
one.
more defensive player. He has more MVPs. He has more defensive player of the years. He's literally 1x everything this nigga has done, and we just say, well, that's the best athlete ever. I'll give you that.
We don't say
he
he's
is
the
the
best
no.
athlete.
I'll give you that.
That's the
I'm
difference.
saying this. LeBron James. This is my hot take for y'all. LeBron James might be the greatest athlete ever, but when we talking about the game of basketball, he's not better than Michael Jordan at playing basketball.
And I think this is where you miss the point again because, like, yes, I hear you. Like, he did all the stats, I guess, are great, but again, you are still going back to the 6. You're only going back to the 6.
He didn't
I'm
talk
not talking about
no,
the
but
six.
I'm because
He said he got
no,
6 rings.
because you're talking about Finals MVPs. He only has
which is
one.
the individual accolade.
Correct, but the only reason that the nigga got the 6 that he got is because he only went to 6. LeBron should have at least 5, and the only reason he didn't is because he
should
didn't
have
have
at least 5 Finals MVPs.
He got 3. He got 3 now.
He got 4.
He's got
Yes,
4.
Yes, he should have
Nah,
won.
he's got.
He should have 5.
4.
He should have no. He
He's
should have
got-
won the one where he led in all statistics against the Warriors, and they only lost. He only lost because they lost.
Michael Jordan ain't synonymous with losing. We're not gifting him
The
for
on-
losing.
again,
the man
so-
that's
Chicago
I'm
Bulls
going
aren't
to-
synonymous
again,
with losing.
I'm going to
Team
say-
sport.
I'm going to the accolades again. You said he has one more there. He has one more in the MVPs. He shares one. So like I get it, but look, we also talked about how LeBron's been snubbed out of it. We can talk about at least one.
Michael had voters fatigue before he won 2 more MVPs.
Niggas was tired of LeBron prior to
And he
him
hasn't
getting
won
the first
anymore.
one.
And he hasn't won anymore.
And the niggas yet to fall out of the best player in the league
Because
category, which is what I talked
no,
about.
Neither was Mike. Mike was the best player in the league.
The
Like I
same
said,
way
like I said, like-
LeBron was. And if we're talking about the game of basketball, like what he said, if we're not just talking about winning, if we're talking about what all goes into playing basketball, the best thing that y'all niggas got is the defense. He has 4 more all defensive titles, right? For
team.
9 to 5.
Yeah.
But Michael can't go out there and guard all the positions that LeBron can.
LeBron's not out here guarding centers. I'm so glad we can debunk the myth.
Wait,
Shout out
is it-
Intuition Hoops.
is it a myth?
Shout out Intuition Hoops. They have clips.
This nigga gonna
They
keep
have
on
clips
getting on our podcast on YouTube
of
to shout out
niggas.
another page. Shout out
Show
5 for the
it.
4, nigga.
Yes, 'cause
this is
Shout out
what
5
we're
for
gonna
the
talk
4.
about.
And you see that Thiago split a block. That's all niggas talk about is the
Bro,
Thiago
the nigga
split
had
a
to
block.
guard. The nigga
And
had to guard
Thiago
Tim
split a
Duncan.
block.
The nigga had to guard Tony Parker
And got
The nigga-
cooked
Oh,
by Tim Duncan. Tony Parker hit
the
the
same niggas that they beat.
Yeah,
So
Tim
they-
Duncan did not play poorly. You want to talk about LeBron should have MVP for losing? Just because Tim Duncan lost a 7-game series doesn't mean he wasn't
No.
cooking.
That
Doesn't mean he wasn't cooking.
But
And who was guarding him?
Are
Bron.
you telling Mike to go out there and try to guard their best center and then go out there and guard the best nigga
You're
who
not.
handles the ball?
Chris Bosh
Get
starts
out.
your game
You're
guarding
not.
the best
I'm not.
center.
You're not.
LeBron switches
Answer your question.
onto the best center
Answer your
because it's
question.
pick and ball
But to-
game.
but to
Yes,
my
I just
point-
did answer it. It's
No.
not Mike
But
because
to
they have
my-
a center to guard that,
but
just
to
like they
my-
had Chris Bosh
but
and
to
Joel
my
Anthony,
point-
right?
but to
They
my
did?
point-
Oh, Chris Bosh is guarding the point.
No, nigga.
One at
Chris
a
Bosh is
time.
guarding the
The
three.
answer to his
Chris Bosh is
question
guarding the
was
three.
no.
Take a deep
No, the
breath.
answer to your question was LeBron was not told go guard the center. He was told go guard the 3. When they switch the pick and roll, it won't be a problem because we feel like you're physically capable of doing
he was
this.
playing the Spurs, he had to go guard Tim Duncan on one of the last possessions and then turn around and say, okay, Tony Parker's probably going off the ball. Let me go guard Tony Parker.
That means that was
in
his
the
assignment,
same
or they
possession.
switched it because they knew they're going to pick
He
and roll.
was
when
not
they
talented
do it.
of a defensive player.
It was literally said. It was like, you go guard this player because you can go
They've
guard
been
him.
pick
You
and
can-
rolling us with TP and TD
I
to get the
understand
switch
how
for Chris
switches-
Bosh
I understand how
onto him.
switches go.
So they beat the switch and
No.
said, I'm going to pre-switch. So they can't do this and send Chris Bosh
Oh,
over there.
So that's beating the priest. So like, if the team then does not.
So that means they've been getting
and there's no
kills, and he
switch,
made he made an adjustment, and that's good for him because a lot of people don't make adjustments.
And the
I will
adjustment
admit
was
that.
to go guard that.
Yes, I'm just gonna say what they've been doing for 8 straight possessions. I'm just gonna beat them to it after they finally beat me over the head with it 8 times.
And the
That's called him getting the assignment from the start of the game to start the guard the center.
I didn't say it was from the start of the game. I'm just saying it's a nigga who can be assigned and was assigned and we saw be assigned to go guard every single position that can be on a basketball court.
Yes.
From one point of the time.
Versatility.
Doesn't mean he did it well. It just meant he did it.
But we're still talking about the same nigga who
one possession stops against 8 possessions scored is doing well.
No,
exactly. Because they were getting killed on the switch.
But if we're talking about in the league,
and then he pre-switches it one time, and we're going to praise that and gloss over the fact he got killed 8 times before. We're just going to gloss over that because it's LeBron. We just got to gloss over shit to make him fit in this goat hole. We got to gloss over a whole lot of shit. And I guess we got to.
One at a time, everyone. One at a time.
Niggas was baking Michael the same way. Magic Johnson, triple-double.
Facts.
Like niggas
for one game, not for 7, for one game.
Nigga, again, to my point earlier, niggas have winning records against him, so it wasn't just for one game. The nigga did not win a finals until his 6th
year 7. He had 4 years without Scotty.
We're still talking about niggas, not an all-star. We're still talking. So we're talking about niggas who was busting his ass.
Yes, I'm not talking about the regular season for either one of these niggas because these are all-time great niggas.
And again,
both of them are 55 plus winners.
I'm not saying that the niggas just both great. I'm not saying LeBron's the greatest defensive player. I'm saying that LeBron James has the capability and the versatility to guard all the players on the basketball court in a way that Michael Jordan does not have.
He does.
He does not.
He doesn't have to. He's just because Michael's not putting his freaking forearm in your back on the post doesn't mean he's not leaving his man and completely stopping you from starting your post move. Doesn't mean he's not coming over having chase down blocks. The only player, not the only guard, because I'm about to say something just anybody can do. The only player to have a steal, a block, and 30 a game. That means he's a guard on the perimeter in a time where you're just on your man. You can't do illegal defense. You can't overload that side of the floor. You can't do that. So your double team's got to be quick. It's got to be well timed. This nigga made a living on that. Literally his last highlight in the NBA before the push, quote unquote, great shot. According to me, a blindside steal on number 32 for you. I almost said that nigga's name again. Number 32 from Utah. Can't give him no pub. Number 32 from Utah. Swipe down steal on him. That is what Michael Jordan does. Just because he's not guarding you doesn't mean he's not just as effective and impactful as the guy who's pre-switching and doing the chucking and the shiving and all that good stuff, actually guarding him on the block. He's just
Seven has clearly made the case for why LeBron is a more versatile defender and the whole defensive accolade stuff doesn't hold up to the actual context of the argument.
Of course
but
not.
let's get to this last piece because
one guy's got more on defensive teams.
You've yelled a lot. Let's get to this last point.
Say something of substance.
Of the reality that the biggest statistical category that we care about in basketball. How many points did you score today? What'd you put up? LeBron James.
Damn, nobody cares about
is the top scoring player to ever touch a basketball. 39,000. And this is a player who's pass first, make the play first guy. Over Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, who are score first guys, who everyone said had that killer instinct and all of this. Somehow, some way, the kid from Akron got thousands of more points than them all time.
Thousands.
So like even in the category that we say Jordan is so much better than LeBron at, pure scoring, LeBron has statistically scored more than him. There's not an argument there. That is, the numbers don't lie. So clearly this nigga is a better scorer than Jordan.
The award that says the best scorer in the league, the scoring title, LeBron.
39,000, nigga. 39,000.
I think LeBron's got 2. I could be. I think he has 2.
Better competition again.
And Mike has 10.
Playing against plumbers.
Mike has 10.
The scoring title goes to the person who scored the most.
The individual's
average
points per game.
But
you have to score a certain number.
Is KD a better scorer than LeBron? He has more scoring titles than LeBron. Is he?
Bit, yeah.
He's a better scorer.
I would say it's just score. Yeah. Just score, yeah, I know.
I feel like it's really hard to say that there's a nigga who's better at scoring than a nigga who has the literal most points scored.
And if you think the nigga that has the most points, you would think they give him a scoring title more
like
than
I was
twice.
saying earlier.
when it comes to LeBron, he's given us the blueprint to play the most games, most minutes, play the longest, and have a very high success rate for a lengthy amount of time. But to this day, to present, in the peaks of the most talented versions of NBA players that we have today, there is not a 10-year stretch from 88 to 98 that matches Michael Jeffrey Jordan to this day. Accomplishment-wise, success-wise, and individual success-wise. Like literally in every box he checks in the 10-year stretch, nobody is matching that peak. And I'm talking, when I look at LeBron James, because he's played for so long, and that these last years, I can't hold none of that against him. Just like it's only cherries on top. If he wins and does all of this stuff, it counts. But if he doesn't and all of that stuff, he's just so like everything past that finals or 2020, past the last ring, I don't count it. I count that LeBron that we know and that we fantasize about from 2008 to 2018. I'll give him the rings after that, but like versions of LeBron that our kids are going to remember is 2008 to 2018. In the midst of that greatness of a behemoth of a man that we've seen, it still don't match. Michael Jordan was doing stuff that Steph Curry wasn't even doing. Steph Curry made 402 threes. This man made 12, and he still had a higher point total than him. This is shooting all middies. This is averaging 30 at a 50% clip.
So we get to total points scored, 39,000 for LeBron
But we're
James.
talking about the art of scoring. If this man is...
And it's a very good thing, Tank, that careers aren't measured just by a 10-year span. Because if they were, you haven't, brother. Because that's your whole argument, is his peak is better, which again,
Just for this
you
score,
can't, listen, you can't argue whose peak is better, bro. Like, it is just like... We don't even, like, I really can't even point to a year specifically that was LeBron's peak, because his peak was so fucking long. That's a part of the argument. So you can't just pull out 10 out of 21.
I can.
You can't,
I can. If I can't
what you thought.
No, it's subjective to
If he say it's the
I can't hold it. I can't hold the nigga getting swept.
It's
That's what I'm
13.
saying. I can't hold the nigga getting swept.
So you can't just move the goalpost,
I'm
nigga.
not moving it. I
You
can't.
say 10 years
The longer the
versus 10 years.
nigga, the longer the
10 years
nigga
versus
plays.
10 years.
We can't
And we say it's 21 years, Tank.
If his peak is this
It ain't 10 versus 10, it's 21.
If his peak is this long, if it's 20 years,
21.
25 years, all of that shit, right?
21.
And he went to three peak. Those are all cherries on top.
No,
but if the
no,
nigga
no,
gets
no,
swept for
no,
the
no,
next
no,
3 years and retires,
I can't
hold that
truncate
against
that shit
him.
to
So I
10.
can't argue for
The
ground.
21 matters,
I can't
nigga.
argue for ground
That's
that's
how many
20 up. I can't
matters.
argue the 8 years or the 5 years Michael Jordan
That's
played.
the fucking point.
I can't argue 6.
The longevity makes that nigga better.
I can't say that. The nigga paced himself better. The nigga paced himself better.
Playing that shit
Yes.
pays himself better, bro.
The nigga was literally the 4th seed in the fucking 24 or 2015.
Yeah, LeBron was pacing
Them
himself.
years niggas in Cleveland.
LeBron was pacing
Him and
himself.
K-Love was resting at the before Christmas break.
But
Before Christmas Day, them niggas was literally resting.
Well,
Them
LeBron
niggas was
paced
the 4th
himself to
seed.
39,000 career points. LeBron paced himself to 39,000 career points.
Name
That's a stupid ass argument, Tank.
You do.
The stupid ass argument.
That nigga is. Why he only got one season?
Stupid argument.
Why he only got averaging one season
Go
after
ahead,
30
Tevin.
points and never
Stupid
averaged
argument.
a double?
I feel
Go
like
If this nigga wasn't pacing himself,
I feel like
Mike averaged 37.
Let
He
that-
averaged 35
let
over
that-
8
I feel like
seasons.
not only is that a bad argument.
I'm talking about pacing himself.
I gotta say something with substance.
No,
Russell
I feel
Westbrook
like-
paced it.
it
Russell
would be-
Westbrook didn't pace himself.
It would be
Yelling real
be-
shit.
It would,
Hell yeah,
it
nigga.
would be very different if we're talking about a nigga who also, you talking about resting. This nigga led the league in minutes up until like 3 years ago. Like we're not
Fact
talking.
check that.
He has the most minutes. He's logged the most minutes.
He
ever.
had-
He's played the
no,
longest.
once. No,
I get that.
No, but not even.
He's leading the league in minutes.
No. I said he led the league up in minutes up until like 3. Like
Yeah,
it
so
was
that
like-
means I need to see 2012,
Yeah, let me see.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17,
Yeah,
18,
he
19,
probably-
20, and 21, because that would be 3 seasons ago. 20,
Where he led?
when was the last time he
when was
led
the
the
last
league
time
in
he
minutes?
led the league? in minutes?
2017, 2018.
Man, that was a long time ago. That's 7
I said
years
right
ago.
before 20.
No, you said up until the last 3 seasons.
No, and then I said I don't, because you said
So that would be
21.
4.
Because you said 21, I was like, it wasn't 21. It was probably a little.
LeBron's only led it 3 times. in his
He's
career.
only led the league in minutes 3 times in 21 years. Man, I thought I heard different. That's crazy.
in the 3.
Has nothing to do with the overall argument.
Yeah, it does.
I did say that. So let me read.
His argument
He
was
was
that
still
LeBron's out here
I-
playing
again, I
heavy
still-
minutes, leading the
but-
league in minutes, and he wasn't. That was
The
your
point
argument.
is
But
the
he-
exertion on the court.
And I still think that he was still close. If he wasn't 1, I still think he was top 5 all those years. That's all I'm saying.
You can play 42 minutes a game if you play once every 3 days.
Talking about the same nigga who literally, like, we watched play damn near every single minute of multiple finals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
How do you
almost
do
like
that?
he
You
paced
just-
himself so he can go balls to the
But
wall
that-
when it mattered
And
the
it's crazy.
most.
Not even in
Whoa.
the finals. We
They
watched
call him
we
the
watched-
GM for a reason.
We
He
watched him do
controls
that shit in
everything.
the playoffs too. We
Whoa, it's almost like he's saving
I'm
himself
saying that
for
I'm not, bro. I'm
the
not-
playoffs.
I'm not.
And
I'm
Mike,
not
can,
GM.
Mike can
Look.
just go balls to the wall from preseason game
I'm gonna stop y'all.
to NBA Finals game 6.
This argument is
But
actually
it's whack. We're not really
it's
talking
getting into nothing because at the end of the day, you can't prove whether or not he's pacing himself. If he had an injury, he had an injury.
I was trying to explain where I was coming from with that sentiment. When you look at those 10 years that I'm comparing, Michael Jordan, you see higher minutes, average minutes played, and he's taking more shots. He's averaging more shots and he's averaging more points.
Is that true?
LeBron. So Michael Jordan has the most shots in NBA history.
He's averaging more shots. He's taking more shots and he's making them more efficiently, as well as he has the most defensive time. So he's playing defense as
How's
well.
it more efficient if his field goal percentage is less? His field goal percentage in all of them except for free throws is less than LeBron James.
What is his career? What's today?
I just
Mike shoot
LeBron, Mike
LeBron
is
is
at 50. Mike is at 49.
Oh yeah, he
Okay,
got the
49.
like it's not a lot.
49.9.
But we're talking about literally all of them. LeBron is
That
higher.
shit is stupid, man.
Like we're still
Arguing
talking
the
about.
overall argument.
I'm
Because
just saying,
our
like,
legacy-
Yes, the art of overall legacy is one of these niggas is synonymous with if. One of these niggas is synonymous. Like, one of these niggas is what
Ain't
the
no way
Golden
about
State
39K.
what the Golden State Warriors is. You know how you kept saying the Golden State, like, Mike never, none of the teams Mike faced were a Golden State equivalent how LeBron faced them, right?
True statement.
Mike was the Golden State Warriors. That's the fucking difference.
Right.
LeBron is trying to be the hero, building up a super squad to go take down the motherfucking big baddies, and Mike is sitting at the top of the hill. No. LeBron built a super team after Boston did, and got his 2 rings, and then KD OD'd on that shit.
But that's
and that's
I'm
Mike
just-
building.
I'm just, correct,
and that's
I'm just
LeBron.
correcting what you said. You said LeBron built a super team to try to go take them niggas out. No,
Yes.
No, them niggas built a super team.
He didn't trade Andrew Wiggins for Kevin
to
Love.
take LeBron down.
He didn't trade Andrew Wiggins for Kevin Love.
In my, what? In
He didn't
my-
trade Andrew Wiggins for Kevin Love in Cleveland. That's building a super
Oh,
team.
and well,
That's
that was
building a
later,
super
But
team.
that's after the
he's already-
super team era.
Oh, he didn't trade for
But let me
Derrick
also
Rose
say
and
this-
Dwayne Wade
Let me also say this to your
to
point.
try to build a super team to go take down the Warriors after they beat him. After they beat him, he didn't trade for them. Y'all forgot D Wade in Cleveland? Y'all forgot D Wade? I watch games,
We
nigga.
remember D.
When he's building a super team
you talk-
to go take down the Avengers that just beat his ass.
D Wade, the top 3 player in the league.
D Wade didn't just take Chicago to the playoffs the year before without
so
Derrick
taking
Rose.
the team
Just
to
him?
the playoffs makes you top.
That's a
3
bad
in the
team.
league?
That's a bad
D
team.
Wade top 3 in the
You don't need to be a top 3 player to be a super team. You need you need multiple All-Stars to be a super team.
What's the argument?
One last point.
That LeBron was building super teams to go and try and beat the Golden State Warriors. Michael Jordan was the super team that niggas couldn't get over.
Scottie Pippen, arguably the second best player of his era.
Are you on crack?
Okay.
Scottie Pippen's better than number 32 from Utah, and I don't even say that nigga's name. Are you for really on crack?
Magic Johnson and Larry Bird are in
I didn't
the
even
era.
say Magic. This is the 90s, my
Elijah
nigga.
won.
He's better than Akeem Olajuwon. He's better than Charles Barkley.
All right.
That's a whole different episode. That was crazy.
One more argument that I have that Taylor is making that is a pro for Jordan that I can argue is an anti for Jordan, right? Jordan has 6 rings. He's 6-0 in all of them. Never once was he an underdog. He was always clearly had and on the best team. A part of that was Jordan. A part of that was also his teammates because it is a team sport. LeBron was an underdog in multiple of these finals, right? And multiple of them, he won, right? That is another argument for LeBron James and against Michael Jordan. We can argue here all night. We've gone quite a long time. Let us know in the comments who you got, Jordan, LeBron, or other. Should we argue somebody else? We have one moderator, we have one host, so we'd love for you to come back into the pen and tell us who won.
I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you. I'm gonna say the Brosexuals won today.
LeBron James, nigga.
Taylor,
3-2 on the
You
500
just
vote.
conceded too many of your points while you were arguing. You were like, oh, well, that's a good point. I feel like you ain't never, when you debating, bro, it's yo shit versus they shit. You can't just acknowledge. Oh, that's a really good point. Like,
Get the fuck out this bitch, nigga. We better turn up to easy.
so there's a few points that I think I would have argued from my.
You also think Scottie Pippen was the second best player in the 90s, so this don't mean fucking shit to a real nigga like me.
Let it close.
The fuck? You think about if I don't listen to Trey Flopper Flock, you think about to listen to a nigga that said Scottie Pippen's number 2 in the 90s over Karl Malone, John Stockton, Gary Payton, Chris Mullin, Hakeem fucking Shaq! Shaq played in the 90s and Scottie Pippen's better than Shaq? You are on crap. Fuck out of here with this shit, nigga. The fuck? Scottie Pippen's better than Shaq, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. 5 from the 4. Keep putting the cap on that, my niggas. The fuck? Shaq!
All right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he got neighbors and everything.
That's crazy. That's Shaquille, I guess. I'm bugging. Michael ain't even top 8. I'm bugging. This is a waste of time. LeBron barely top 6. If we gonna flip up. Steve Nash, nigga. Shout out Bob Cousy. Shout out Bob Cousy.
The first 2 minutes of this nigga talking, he goes, ballistic.
I forgot and then remember he said that shit and like that opinion don't mean shit.
He go ballistic on bro.
Scottie Pippen.
Steven, I would never do that to Molly, bro.
Scottie Pippen.
He just went crazy on Molly, bro.
I just watched the whole thing about Max Kellerman's hot take.
Scottie Pippen is better than Shaq.
He hot about this one.
Do y'all not hear that sentence?
Just ignore it.
Hey man, it's a 5 from the 4. It was an amazing episode today. We got to hear from the Bronzexuals and the Jordanites. This is your moderator, O Home, saying good night. We love you. If you don't know,
Now you know.
now you know.
That LeBron is a GOAT. And Shaq ain't shit. That's crazy.